Hey, all right, everybody. Take two, episode 114. It's funny because we're over 100 episodes in and we're still learning.
Yeah.
Still learning.
Every day we're trying to get better, trying to trim the fat.
Yeah, man, and today's one of those days where we had the computers. This is all brand new equipment. Everything in here is super high tech, and all of a sudden today was a day that the computer's like, I need to take a 5-minute break real quick.
Yeah, you guys pushed me, but we're here though, and we're back. As long as you guys can hear us, we're good.
Yeah, so what's up, everybody?
It's your
boy Jay Banks on another episode of the Powwow. Got AI in the building. What's cracking, bro?
What's up, guys? How we doing? Appreciate y'all for tuning in again. Yeah. We got a great episode coming your way, though. It's going to be awesome. So
shout out to Julius's girlfriend for giving us a heads up, man. We were 5 minutes into the podcast and realized that the sound swapped on our Streamlabs. Streamlabs freaked out and had it closed on us, and it threw everything into
it had a moment, but it's all right. We got it back. Yeah.
So we're good on the sound. She texted me and clarified.
Hey, appreciate that.
Appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking in and watching. That's the main thing. So
exactly.
All right, man. So on the other side of the table, we got the Velocity Esports crew in here, which is awesome, man. So you guys came in and saved the day when GameWorks shut the doors over there. Which is something obviously for a place like this, it's a game. Like GameWorks or a place that has like all that entertainment equipment, it's so valuable. But with the times that are changing, bro, it's like you guys got to do something that's a little bit further, a little bit better than what was already previously, displayed. So when you guys came in and it said Velocity Esports, I started Googling esports, man. I started Googling Velocity. I'm like, all right, what is this, dude? What's this all about? Because a lot of people have heard about esports, right? But it's like, okay, what is that, right? But it's gotten to the point where we talked earlier, like Dayton, Kentucky is just a mile and a half down the road. It's a small school, but they have their own esports team for the high schoolers, man. So it's really cool that even in a high school setting, they're acknowledging that, hey, this is a sport, because you use your mind on those things, man. And my wife's a big gamer, right? So I see how intense it is and how you're so zoomed in and everything. Like you were saying with the headphones, man. She's got a 7.1 surround sound on her headphones, so she can hear somebody walk up behind you. I heard you talking about someone. It's crazy that they were able to change the gun, and you can tell what gun they were changing to, and that just goes to show how badass that video game is, that they take that much into consideration, where, hey, these people that do have these surround sound headphones, we want to make sure that if you're putting away something and pulling out, an AK-47, that you're gonna feel it, you're gonna hear it when they cock the chamber or whatever they have to do, man. So it's cool to see all that just kind of elevate to the next level. And then you guys come in here and you go, hey, we've got this room that has all these arcades, and then we're going to add some dope ass food, and we're going to get some really good the esport entire room you have, man. So a lot of people don't know that you guys have 20 computer systems all set up there,
20 PCs, 10 PlayStations.
I nailed that. All right, cool.
We got 2 Nintendo Switches, and then we're currently working on our Xbox stuff right now.
All right. So on the other side of the table, that's our boy Julius, and so go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we'll start talking about Velocity Esports, and then kind of break down because I think a lot of people like even my wife, she's a big gamer, but she doesn't know the esport thing. So the second that you told me you guys are gonna start doing Valorant, I'm like, holy shit, bro.
Right up her
I need
alley,
to I need to get her down here, because she has a blast in her game room by herself just playing this shit. So if she can do that out here at the levee, in front of other people, and she's really good at it too. So and obviously everybody that games is on Twitch, or they have some type of social media that they like to advertise or be a part of. So, and it's hard getting those followers on Twitch, man.
Oh yeah.
I know both of you guys are actual gamers, and you guys hopefully do that for a living, and then the Velocity Esports is just something that you guys have fun with on the side, man.
Sure, yeah. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for having us on. Really, really fortunate to be over here. We've always worked with you guys. We've been in partnership, collaboration for a while. We'll get into that a little bit later, but
for sure.
We're so excited to actually come on here and be able to talk with you guys. As far as Velocity Esports in general, we opened up in the later part of March this year, and it's the first one in the company, and we wanted to set out and do two different things. One of the things is we wanted to basically build a team and a culture, kind of devoted to a high level of customer service. And then the other one is we wanted to be able to deliver an unparalleled experience in our venue through the combination of food, drink, and video games. So we've got something for everybody, really, when it comes down to everything. And then, when we got team members like Julius over here, he really, sets the bar and sets that standard of expectation that no matter what you want to do, how you want to do it, even if you want to play esports, you want to play competitively, you can play competitively, or if you want to come in and just, hang out, get a beer, get a drink, or grab a slice of pizza, you can always do that. You're welcome, for sure. Differences in the venue in and of itself, we added a social lounge back in the back. So basically what that is
I've been in it. It's nice.
It's very,
really
very
nice,
cool.
yeah.
It's something, usually you can come in and you can actually get an all-day pass and you'll get a wristband. All the games and everything back there are free. So we've got pool, shuffleboard, foosball,
There's
pinball.
An old school Frogger back there.
Oh, dope, dude.
Some time back there
And you know what else you did back there too, man, that GameWorks never did that I love is that you broke open that wall. Like, you guys have such a good patio, like an outdoor balcony that overlooks like the main street out there right in front of the levee. And I understand, and as an entertainment company, you want to make sure that it looks dark and all the lights are dinging and it's all bright and flashy and all that stuff. But like, you guys got prime real estate, man. So you guys are actually able to open that back wall to let that real light come in and have that game room be a game room, right? Which is so cool because it's like, you felt like you were kind of enclosed and like, when it was when GameWorks had all that
the drapes and everything up,
dude, like it blows my mind, man. Like glass is like the number one
sought after.
It's like it's something
sought
you can always utilize, man, when it comes to a company. So
you can put stickers on things, you can put like decals, they draped over black isn't going to do anyone any good. You know what I mean? People like visuals, they want those, they want to be able to see and be able to go to where they see. You know what I mean? Like, especially in a place like, we're on the levee. So we're across from bars, restaurants. We're across from things that are active. People are always looking over here to see what's happening, right? So because we're in this location, a place like yours is located so, I want to call it centralized. Even though you might be tucked in the back of the gallery, like it's still centralized. It's a spot everyone can to go to. Let's meet at GameWorks is what they used to say. Now they're gonna say Velocity. We've been a lot of people have been curious about it too. So
absolutely,
I skateboard all the time. So like the first time I saw the Velocity sign put up on the main street, I was like, what is that? And then I looked up and I saw like they're making a team or something. I was like, I gotta get on this team. I play video games all the time. Like, let me on. And then came in for a job one day and they're like, let's see what you got, and here I am.
Brought them on,
All right, so with that being said, how was there like a tryout, or was it like a just see if you can, hang with us, or like what was how was it kind of?
It basically came down to
dynamic,
back to one of those pillars that we went into and talking about bringing in the right team members and everything else like that. It was really just an interview, getting to know people. But when it comes down to whenever we interview somebody, it's so hard to be able to get a snapshot view of somebody, what they're going to represent, what are they going to do if they get angry, what are they going to do if they're happy, sad. You can never really fully understand somebody in just an interview.
They're on their best behavior, man.
Exactly, So we definitely, make sure we talk to these guys, ask them all the questions like, what makes you want to work here? What brought you in? And we're perfectly okay if somebody just wants to get a paycheck or if they just want a job, but we also want people that are going to be able to give that different experience. The tagline for the place is next level gaming, next level fun. And we want to have you deliver both of those if you can. So when Julius came in, it was kind of like, his character, his charisma. He wasn't shy. Obviously, you don't want to have anybody really be shy. You can still be shy and work in retail or working with customers, but like you kind of thrive.
It affects the bottom line always.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, even like last week I had like a party of 20 kids and like they all wanted to come play Fortnite. So obviously you got to talk the kids up. Like if you see one of them do better than the other, like they were doing competitions 1v1s. I walk over and like, you're really gonna let your friend kill you like that? Like, he just teabagged you and humiliated you. Like, you gotta talk him up. Like
instigated. Like,
all right, so I was I'm like 10 years old, right? And I want to throw a birthday party down there. So that is like, because for the people listening, they don't see how badass that place is, right? They don't see all the curved screens and all the computer systems all set up where you can literally, like the same stuff you see on TV when you see those gaming competitions where it's just guy, girl, whatever. Like they're all in a row and they're all just sitting there gaming, right? Like, so if I'm 10 years old and I want to book a party, do we just call Velocity and say, hey, I've got 20 kids?
The easiest way, we actually just, although we've been open since around March, we actually worked, painstakingly to get all of our events together and kind of figure out what the best value is for people that come in, whether that be esports or whether they just want to come in and play arcade games. And we came out with all of our event packages. Those are now live on our website, so you can go to velocityesports.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can click on the events section, and you can basically put an inquiry in, and one of us from the store will get back to you, and we'll kind of tailor that package around your wants and needs, whether or not you want to just play esports, or you want to come in, you want to do an hour of esports, and you want to have everybody go play arcade games for 2 hours. And even for corporate events and social events like that, like we used to have different companies come in all the time and actually, basically say, hey, we want to have a team lunch where instead of sitting in the cafeteria, we want to bring everybody out and we want to actually play games for an hour, and then we're going to have lunch. So we definitely have those corporate events, even like bachelor parties, as
That's
we all
smart
know.
too, man.
There's plenty of people that play games, even if you're a bunch of guys that are out in their 25, 26-year-olds. They'll come in and just want to play League of Legends for an hour. So you can go online to velocityesports.com, and you can now actually inquire about an event, tell us the date, tell us a little bit about what you want or how you want to do things, and then we'll kind of build that package up around your needs.
Do they all have to play the same game, or
no?
Okay,
no.
So if you want to book it, so I can play the Wii and he can play.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you guys can play whatever. Like even if you have your own Steam account, it's one of the things you can play games on. You can download a game and play it there. I have people come in and play Valorant. Some guy the other day, what was he playing? I've never seen it. Escape, maybe I think it was Escape from Tarkov or something I don't know.
Sure, that's a popular one, yeah.
I don't know what he was playing, but I sat there and I asked him questions just because I'm not familiar with that. I'm more of a fighting game person. I was just interested in what he was doing.
So how often do you have I would say maybe 2K competitions or Madden stuff? How often does that cross your paths? Because you have Call of Duty and the Halo and obviously Fortnite and fighting games, but the sports games, obviously esports. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be a huge demographic for 2K and NFL, Madden, anything like that. So that's obviously super popular. I enjoy it as well as anyone else. But how often is that something that you guys are?
So we basically have kind of gotten to the point where we're now kind of planning different events out, and that was always one of the things that the esport is huge for it, whether or not you're playing, like you said, Madden or NBA 2K. So we're definitely planning that different stuff out. That's for sure on our radar. Mm-hmm. Even to do something like on a Thursday, everybody comes in and we've got a 20 or 30 person Madden tournament.
Yeah, absolutely,
we can do that. So I think the best time to be able to
you'd be the spot in the city to be every Thursday.
Sure.
I promise.
Because you could have, that's a game where you don't have a team of 4. You could have a 1v1. Yeah. Like you said, we've got 20 different stations. You could have up to 10 different matches playing at a time. So you could kind of roll through it. You're not going to be here for 4 or 5 hours.
You can make it big enough for you to be there 4 or 5 hours.
Sure.
There's enough people. There's enough. I mean, if you were to do a Madden tournament or you do a 2K tournament and you
FIFA tournament,
FIFA tournament, you do flyers throughout the city. You hit all the parts. You hit Clifton. You hit OTR. You hit Kentucky outside. Maybe you hit up Indiana. You will find yourself a line out that door
for sure.
And 4 to 5 hours might be generous.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's something like that. If you I think consistency would be the best bet. If you can sit there and do a like a FIFA tournament and then just let it go for 5 weeks in a row where every and maybe it's $100 gift card for the winner that night, to come back and something like that. But I think after the second to third week, that's when everyone's going to be like, damn, okay, so that's what you're doing, because people that love FIFA talk, man. People that love Madden, they talk. So especially if they win, they come down here and have a good time. They're going to talk about it and come back next week with a buddy, right? Yep. And then those 2 buddies are going to bring 2 buddies next week. So, things like that. It's more of just putting in the hours, man, and just making sure that that it's consistent. Because the first time's never going to be a home run, right? But it's getting back at bat and making sure that all right. So this week was we ran out of tacos, so we'll have to double up on tacos next week, or things like that. So it's just it's always trial and error, man. Like we always say, we just cut the fat. And then by the end of the month, we'll have this nice piece of steak to eat. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that our general manager, Tom Heim, he's notoriously good at. Whenever we go to try something new out or we decide to bring a new idea to the table, he always kind of has this rule of thumb that he's not just going to let it be a one-and-done thing. Even if it fails, he's going to at least give it, around 6 weeks or so. That way we can iterate on it and we can do things different, see what did work, what didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
So that's definitely something that we're going to be doing. And then also our online tournaments and everything. We actually have different game series and gaming events for online that are all free that you can enter for different games. And it's basically VNext. It's going to be called Velocity excuse me, the gaming online service, and you can go on there and play on different nights of the week. Like, for instance, right now we're doing every Thursday's Rocket League. So you can go in and do a 3v3 Rocket League, and the prize pool is $300. So we also have games like Super Smash Brothers. We have Brawlhalla.
Knockout City.
Knockout City.
A 3v3 dodgeball game. What else?
Valorant's going to be coming soon. I know you said your other half really loves playing Valorant. So
she's good at it too, man. She's but she's also in particular like with her her mouse and her headset and all that stuff. Because she bring that down and just plug it in herself and use her own equipment.
Yeah, we definitely always have people come in and they have kind of, whether it be their mouse or even something like their mouse pad.
Bring in his entire mouse pad, mouse, keyboard, his own headset. He's like, can I hook this stuff up? My house lost power. And I was like, yeah, go for it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, a lot of people are in particular with that stuff too, man. Like, if like with her, she's got a really nice mouse that, has that and obviously they're all optical at this point, but like hers is like, if it moves just a hair, like, she can really pinpoint on where I don't know. The thing was like $200.
Of course, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, it's quality, man.
And it makes so much of a difference, man. At the end of the day, when it comes to gaming for her, right? So
gaming is one of those things where you do get exactly what you pay for. When you go for quality and that next tier item, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
For a while, like my buddies would always play on Alienware, computer systems. So like they would just take that next step because they knew they were trying to go to that professional level. When we weren't recording, we were talking about your experience with Halo and like the different games that we play and why we played them or whatever. But like my buddies were always big into Halo. I never really got into it as much. It wasn't necessarily my game. We talked about my music background and whatever, and I played some more slower paced games to play music at the same time. I kind of doubled down. But like he was so big into Halo, and I saw the competitiveness within that culture. So I can only imagine the level of technology that has kind of grown with how competitive it is. So like you get the like keyboards, the mouse, but like
there's like controllers like for that, like the Scuff Gaming, like you have different controllers with different paddles. Like you can my square button is a paddle. Instead of hitting square and taking my finger off the joystick, I hit a different paddle. Like my girlfriend, whenever she comes over and she plays on my stuff, I'm like, don't touch my controller. Don't touch that.
It's all tailored to you.
That's specialty right there.
It's
different stuff. Like it helps playing like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. Like just getting faster reaction times, the hit stuff, it's way better.
See, and that's something too, man. Like I had a conversation with Lantana a long time ago about PlayStation or Xbox. And I was like, bro, I've never gotten into Xbox because like I don't like the controller. And he was like, oh motherfucker, your hands low to PlayStation? I'm like, I just like the way it fit, man. Like that big, like holding that block. I didn't like. I liked the fact that I felt like I was holding onto like a steering wheel or like something.
The grip's different.
Yeah, dude, and of course, like the first Nintendo, just B and A, select, start. Those are the only ones.
Square controller.
That's obviously my favorite controller, but you can't do shit with that, man. Like I've got a couple Raspberry Pis, and like unless you're playing Mario 1, like you need the X and the Y button.
I liked the Nintendo 64 controller. That was probably one of my favorites.
Was that the one that had the little
the 3?
It had the 3, and there was like one joystick in the middle,
yep.
and you almost had to like hold it like. Was it like 2 at a time you had to hold it?
I kind of like because
you can either hold the edges or like this.
Yeah, I liked the 64 controller a lot.
Wow,
I did.
You
I
might
really
be
did.
one of the first I've ever heard. Say that.
I did like it. I just liked how it fit in my hand. Like I did.
Everyone complains about it.
Yeah.
Did they? I liked it, dude.
But like to the point that you were saying, like the older Xbox controllers, they were like terrible. They were huge.
Yes, they were huge.
Bro.
It's got the nickname the Duke or whatever because it was just so big and bulky.
Yeah.
And then like back in the day, the PlayStation controller was really slimmed down and Now the Xbox controller has kind of gone through iterations to where it's more of a sleeker design.
Yeah.
So.
My Xbox controller is so much nicer.
It feels like a heavier Xbox controller. Like if you go from a P4 to a PS5, that controller feels way different.
For sure.
It's better. Like you can feel like I can feel footsteps sometimes in certain games. Like I can feel someone running up behind me, and I know I have to like turn around and block whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that what was it? Haptic? Is that what that's called?
Yeah,
that like makes the remote like vibrate. That's just so cool, man.
It's gotten to the point where gaming in and of itself has esports in general and gaming in the last 10 years. There's been more revenue brought in for those things, esports and gaming, than all of music and all of movies combined. So you think of like Avatar, the Avengers, all that good stuff.
That's crazy.
And it's over $180 billion. It's just ridiculous. Everybody plays it, and we were talking a little bit before we were actually recording, and there used to be a stigma, either you played games or you were somebody that didn't play games, and you could be a sports person, a jock, a nerd, whatever.
Right.
But now it's like everybody can play games, and there's not that stigma anymore. It's more, out in the world to where people can see it and anybody can do it. And then we get into everybody's peripherals, and you can get very, very detailed things. A controller, you can have a personalized controller. There's just so much capability in esports and gaming that I think one of the things when we opened it, I was like, okay, that's great. And that's a great idea. And then if you don't want to do the esports, you could still do arcade games and everything over there. So it's definitely cool.
I went shopping one day, and it was like right after work. I still had my work shirt on. Someone was like, are you on like an esports team? I was like, no, it's a business I work for. And they were like asking me about it. And I was like, yeah, just come down and check it out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are curious on what esports actually is, right? Yeah. So like what is the E in esports? Is that just electronic, or is that okay?
So it's typically usually when you think of esports, you think of some form of a competition. You could have digital chess, and then if you end up having some sort of a competition, or you end up having a tournament, that could end up becoming an esport. It basically kind of goes to how much competition or how much want you have from the public to be able to play and compete in the game.
Right.
And then there's different levels of esports. Obviously, you've got casual esports. Basically it's however far you end up wanting to take it, or however much you end up wanting to win. Anything can really be an esport if it's within a game,
right?
Or if it's digital. So it's definitely one of those things. Like back in the day when I first started playing, esport was just coming around, and there was this company called MLG, and it stood Major League Gaming. And back when we're around the same age, therefore we kind of grew up with Halo, and Halo was like the poker of gambling. It was you've got gambling and you've got poker, and poker's the main thing that you're going to do. Well, back in the day, Halo 2, Halo 3 was definitely that mainstay, most competitive game, at least on a console. And then you always had StarCraft on PC, stuff like that.
Yeah, Warcraft, that was my game.
That was always huge. Warcraft was huge.
And then they made made the mini games within it, so you could be all the archers, and you could have two teams and go at each other. That was so.
I love playing Warcraft.
That was so much fun. Those were good times. Another game that's random. Go back to this. Remember Gauntlet Legends?
Yes, yeah. I never played it, but I do remember.
That was a fun game. That was before your time, I'm sure. But that was a fun game.
You're talking Gauntlet with
Gauntlet Legends.
It was an overview, and it was just little characters that were running around a castle.
Yeah, it was you built your character up, but it was kind of an overview. Yeah. It was a fun game. We played that.
I'll have to look that one up.
That's a good one. That's a good one though. It's fun.
Yeah.
So with this Valorant, so you guys are actually going to start doing these tournaments where you're dedicating a game per like on a Friday night you're going to do.
Well, Friday nights would be fight nights, so Tekken, Street Fighter. I want to maybe start a tournament for Street Fighter 6 is coming out later this year.
Oh yeah,
that'd be awesome, dude.
Maybe the winner could get a copy of Street Fighter, because I've done Mortal Kombat tournaments like that, at a GameStop. I've won it and I got my copy of 10 and I got my copy of 11. I didn't get my copy of 9 because I kind of lost it. I choked that last night. I kind of want to start that, and then certain nights I know it's sports Mondays or something like that.
We're still kind of ironing out exactly when the days are going to be. I do know as of right now, there's Rocket League is every Thursday.
Okay.
We're thinking about probably having Valorant on Friday, so we're probably going to do the fighting stuff either on a Monday or Tuesday. But like you said, each one of those days are kind of have their own little thing, and obviously you don't have to participate in all of them because each game has its own type of crowd. But one day we'll have any of these 3 fighting games, Brawlhalla, Super Smash Brothers, Tekken 7. And then different nights you can go online, you can go to our Discord, you can also go to the Velocity Esports Instagram page, and there'll be different links to be able to have you go click on this and you can sign up, and it's all completely free. And then you can play at home, or if you want, you can come in and always play at the store on our next level stations. And then from there you can also participate, and after you participate, if you win, we have a prize pool for you. So for instance, like the Rocket League right now, just to enter for free for a 3v3, it's $300. So it's definitely for these people that want to just play in general, it's so worth it. You know what I mean? Especially if it's free and you can come and you can show up your friend, or you can just have a good time.
For sure.
So it's definitely a cool thing that we're bringing with the esports.
I mean, doing that too, though, like the Twitch community or the gaming community, like if my wife was down here playing the Valorant on a Friday, like she's gonna meet a lot of people that she already knows have the same common interests, right? So like that's almost like a social gathering, right, for people, because you're doing these things where you've got one certain game that you're doing on a Thursday or on a Tuesday, and if you keep that thing going, like you're gonna build up like a community for these gamers that they'll end up becoming friends or possibly and that's one of those things too. You got to take into consideration, man. You guys got alcohol. You guys got a restaurant, like, so you might be able to turn a gaming night into a date night.
Absolutely.
Find your love of your life.
It's the
you don't
ultimate.
even know it.
It's the ultimate. If you know, you know.
Yeah,
it really is. So like, if you know, you know. Like, and everyone's included too. You know what I mean? There's no like. Video games are so unique in the fact that we talked earlier how young people get into them and how good they are at them. You talked about pros being 16 to 20 years old, 21 years old. That's younger. You know what I mean? That's at that age when you're still trying to figure out what you like to do, you're good. But like at the same time, you're figuring out what you want to do, but you can find an avenue made for you.
Yeah.
It's customized because the world is so customizable. So like you're just right in that lane, and all of a sudden you've made 30 new friends that all like the same thing, that no one's picking on each other. They're all in the same vein. Before you know it, they're teaching each other things outside of that culture, outside of that world, and it just grows friendships. It's like, if you know, you know.
Some of my best friends in general from like, let's see, I started playing competitive Halo back in late 2008, 2009. I've still got 3 friends of mine that are probably, in my mind, I view as like my best friends, and I met them through gaming. I met them through esports.
You see that shit all the time, man.
And you literally just hang out with them, you talk to them, you bond. And one of them lives in New York, another one lives in Florida, the other one lives close to me. But like, it's so weird. You could look out into an area and say, okay, I could get along with that person. That person might like the same movies as I do, but I don't know if I really want to go talk to them or if I want to take that chance. The thing with gaming is it shows, just like Andrew was saying, it gives you that common interest to be able to say, hey, we agree on this and we both enjoy this. So we probably match in personalities in more ways than one.
Even like working here, I've met a lady who does actual esports stuff I watch a lot of Overwatch, and I think it's Dallas is it's a huge esports team. But she was talking to us about that. I mean, they've came and supported my stream. Coworker of mine, Max, he is big in the Halo as well. Like, he's teaching me Halo. I don't know what I'm watching, but he's teaching me it. So I'm just learning. Like, learning, for sure. It's a great experience to like have other people who love what you're doing.
Welcoming for sure.
Coming from like other jobs that like, oh, you play games, whatever. We play sports. Like, I don't care about that. I was trying to tell you like my interests, but here they're all like, I play this game, this game, this game. What do you need me to teach you? And I'm like, that game. Like, help me out with this. Like,
you're dealing with such passionate people. So the best part is that you're passionate about it. So when you're explaining it, you're trying to make sure that they learn on that more deep level. You don't want them to just teach the surface. You're like, all right, you understand how to control the character, you understand what it's about, but let me show you how to really get down and get in the trenches of this game. And you're passionate about it, and they're passionate about video games as well, so it's easier to connect, because passionate people, regardless of your medium, regardless of what you like to be passionate about, it kind of all comes in the same vein, because you just understand, excitement. This person is so excited about this. I think I could probably get there. And if I don't, I don't. But like, at least they're showing you and showing another gamer how to play. I can only imagine trying to relate to other games too. Because I mean, like, you relate Halo to Call of Duty. Yeah, you explained earlier that the Halo is you have the Halo aspect is you have more time for reaction.
Sure.
Whereas Call of Duty, it's instant shot kill ratio kind of situation.
Absolutely,
so like where Halo, there's more manipulation with they shoot, you have an opportunity to
if somebody
evade.
gets the first shot on you, you're not
Exactly.
necessarily dead immediately. If like you walk around the corner and somebody shoots you first, you have the opportunity to either strafe or move or jump or do something, and you could throw off that engagement to the point where the person that got shot first still might end up beating the other person, opposed to like Call of Duty is just very quick, which is also in and of itself very, very highly skilled and takes a lot of detail to be able to say, I know exactly where he's going to be, I know exactly what to do at this exact second, and it's just very quick. So to your point, it's just different iterations on how you want to, you know, learn something and how much you want to learn.
Yes.
You would just want to learn a little bit and kind of memorize the map and how it looks, or do you want to memorize the map, the spawns, where the guns are at, where people, you know, usually come from. It's just, you know, there's so many different levels, and that's one thing that makes it like just ultimately fun. It's just like any other sport, really. I mean, you could really want to be good at basketball. You could learn how to dribble, or you could learn how to, you know, dunk, or, you know, go under the legs and do layups and backwards and all that different stuff. It's all about how passionate or how much you enjoy doing what you do.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, my experience with Halo, though I didn't play it, my friends were really committed to it. I had a friend that I don't know if he did go pro with MLG or he was in the process of it, but he was really good. But I knew that they set up plays, much like, you know, football sets up a play or basketball or any other sport, where like they would literally like set a guy that like would maybe draw somebody out, and they would do a lot, and I would watch them. I'd be at their LAN parties. They would invite me over, and we're homies because of music and a bunch of things. But I would watch them be in their moment. And I was pretty amazed, man. I was like, I'm playing basketball. We talked about it and whatever. And I was a point guard, and I would control like what things were happening. And I saw very similar instances in these games, because like these guys are like, they would literally like talk to each other like, you're on the right, like, and they would flank, and they would do all the terminology. And I was like, this is so intense, and it was really amazing.
I feel like Final Fantasy was like the first like strategic game like that, where you had to like, you know, it wasn't just like going in and hitting A and B a ton of times and knocking the dude out like we used to do on like Street Fighter 1, right?
Yeah.
Before you knew like all the codes and all that
you
shit.
Button mash.
Yeah, but like with Final Fantasy, it was like, you know, you had all these characters and you had to send one up, and then it came back, and then another one came up, and then you were trying to defeat the. I couldn't get into that, man. Like that was too strategic for me. I like the killing games, man. I like going in Mortal Kombat, bro. I
love Mortal Kombat.
So. Like this is something that's interesting, man, because you guys probably weren't a part of the moment, but back in the day, PlayStation and Sega were fighting Nintendo and Sega were fighting hand in hand, bro, on trying to like who's the best.
Well, it was like the Sonic and Mario. Like Sega had Sonic.
Yeah, Sega had Sonic, Nintendo had Mario, but the big thing was Super Nintendo was like G-rated, and Sega was like, you know, we're like the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, right? Like we like the violence, we like these games. So some of these games they would only go to Sega and not to Nintendo because like you know, there was I can't remember some of the games, man. Immortal something was one of the games. But when Mortal Kombat came out, they had a non-bloody version for the Nintendo, and then they had the bloody version for Sega. And so that like after a while, we found out there was a code that you can type in to get the blood code on Nintendo, but it was like, I don't even think it was blood. I think it was more spit, like blue or green that was coming out than red. And it was like one of those things, man. It was like that was that defining moment where like Nintendo was at the top of the food chain, but then Sega came up, and you know I ended up buying the Sega and buying the Mortal Kombat over the Mortal Kombat for the Nintendo because I wanted the blood and guts, and I wanted to be able to pull Scorpion's head out of his, you know, his spine or whatever, like how that.
And that was like the first kind back in the day. Mortal Kombat was really the first one to be like, oh wow, that's really gory.
Yeah.
I think there were maybe a few others, but like Mortal Kombat was like
nothing compared to that, bro.
Yeah.
I remember like Mortal Kombat was the very first game I played. Like my grandpa sat me down and he was like, "You're not playing, I am." And I remember watching him play this. Like, I love this. Let me touch it. And then I finally got to play myself. Like now it's one of the biggest games. Like. You guys were talking like your reflex times or how Halo you have certain moves.
Yeah.
Even in like Mortal Kombat, you have to sit there and draw someone's attack out.
Oh, for sure.
Like me and my best friend play at least once a week, every night, and he knows like if I get him in a corner, he's not leaving that corner until I'm done with my combo. So like it's just drawing out certain attacks and like learning
who bites first. Who bites first? Yeah.
Talking about combos, man. Killer Instinct, when that game came out, like that was the first one that would have like 128 hit combo. Like, and that was like one of those things like Mortal Kombat. Obviously, like you can manipulate it. We can freeze them and hit them in the air, and then freeze them again and hit them in the air. Like do shit like that. But like when Killer Instinct came out, like. And it wasn't just like up forward, BA. It was like you had to do this huge like combination, and then once it did, like the computer just took over, and he just hit this dude like 128 times in a row, and it was just like it's really cool to see like the moments change where like the gaming goes from like 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit to 64-bit, and then you can actually save games. Like I'm going through it right now, bro, where I'm playing the original Zelda. And I can't save it because it's a Raspberry Pi. It's not for some reason. It's not saving, and so I either have to let it stay on, or I just cut it off and start over, bro.
Yeah,
but
we have people who come in there. We have a few like games that take longer to play. So like, there's people who come in there like, hey, can I like save this spot? And I was like, yeah, you can easily save it. Just like make sure you save. I have one kid who came in, he quit the game, didn't save, and then he was like, why'd you delete my save? I watched you not hit save, bro.
Right,
that wasn't on me. That was on you.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think about how technology's come, like even back in the day. Maybe Julius hasn't necessarily dealt with it that much, but I remember even back with like the PlayStation, you had to go get a memory card.
Oh,
those
yeah.
things were like $40 back in the day.
Yeah, bro, and they didn't
now
hold
you just
shit.
save everything to the cloud. You've got.
Thank God, dude, because there was a moment there. The PlayStation's like 6 games, and then you couldn't. You had to delete something to put another game on. It's like, God damn, dude. Like,
I think my first memory card, I took it from my cousin because I was like, you don't need this.
They were a commodity. Games. It was valuable stuff. You
know?
Bro.
I had a I've had them all, man. I had Dreamcast too. That was probably the worst controller of all time.
Dreamcast.
It was.
Is that the one that's like it's got the two things and it's kind of rounded in the middle?
Yeah, it actually. So the middle of it had where you would slide the memory card in. It had like a digital screen, so you can like hit save or like they tried making it like high tech, but it ended up being a worse version of the old Xbox controller, right? It was just it was just big and bulky, man. But like the Sega CD, bro, that was probably like my favorite. Like Who Shot Johnny Rock? That game, it was like that was the first time that I realized games can get so much cooler, so much bigger, right? So everything was 8-bit, 16-bit, whatever. And then Who Shot Johnny Rock came out, and it was a movie. So it was basically like me and Andrew like dressed up as like cowboys, like walking in a saloon where you hear the, and then all of a sudden like there's a fight that breaks out, and you've got to pull your gun out and shoot me before I shoot you. And if you don't, like the second part of the game happens. So after you pull your gun and shoot, there'll either be a video of me going, oh, and then falling down, or there'll be a video of me going and shooting you.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, it'll fade to black, and then you'll open your eyes, and then there's a pallbearer, like, from the 1900s going, yep, he just couldn't handle it.
That's so crazy.
But it was so cool, man, because like you're walking through, like the Old West, and you hear something, you look up, and there's somebody on a rooftop. So you have like a second to shoot him before he shoots you. And it's like, it was, I don't know how, like that video game, now to think about it, had to take so much memory on that side because you're talking about
there's different decisions, different outcomes, and everything else.
Yeah,
that's probably
bro.
the most intense thing about it is it's not just one single scripted event.
It could be a 10-minute game, but it takes you 3 hours to get through it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that game, but that's really interesting.
Who Shot Johnny Rock? Yeah, that was the first time that I was like, this interactive shit's cool, man.
Yeah.
And they've actually like the interactive stuff. I've actually one of my exes was part of an interactive movie that did that. And I always thought that would be so badass, man. So like when it comes time to, you're running from Jason, and you can choose like it'll freeze and it says, do you want to run to the woods or do you want to run to the house? And so you'll go, okay, I want to run to the house.
Sure.
So you click the house, and then the character runs to the house instead of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
remember those books that were like that? That you could choose.
The choose your own adventure.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the same thing, just in video form.
Yeah.
But I will say, going back real quick, because I want to get this out. We talked Nintendo 64 controllers. You know, they probably did have an ultimate decision because they made the GameCube controllers more like the PlayStation controllers.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people complained. I just like the N64 because I played Mega Man 64 on it, and I loved that game. That was probably my favorite.
I remember I played Mega Man on, what was it, Sega Genesis. That was like one of the first games that I had played, and I don't think I ever played the Mega Man 64.
It was so much fun. It was similar to like a Mario 64, but it was Mega Man, and like it was just such a good game. Like, look into it if you get a chance. If you like the Mario 64, it's got the same vibe. You build you basically, because like you're Mega Man, but you're like adding to your suit as you go. It's very similar to Mario, like in the controls and the graphics, but it was so much fun. Like, and just something about that system, and then Super Smash Brothers and all that stuff came along. And
Ocarina of Time was my shit.
Oh, dude, Zelda, man. Dude, Zelda was so much fun, too.
I think it's everybody's favorite, you know, Ocarina of Time.
Dude, I tried getting my wife hooked on that, bro. I'm like, this game right here is the greatest game ever made. Like, this is one of those things where it was an open world, right? Like, you weren't, like, I've never seen that before. Like, it's always been like a stage where you've got to walk through to one level to the other. So when you're able to do like the Ocarina of Time, and you know, when it got dark, like the zombies came out of the ground, and you know, you had to, you know, you could, and I did like the controller because they had the extra 4 buttons that you could play the ocarina with.
Yeah,
right? So
there was usage for it. It was just weird that it was three prongs.
100%.
Very odd, but that's what I liked about it. Like, nothing wrong with a little weird. Yeah.
Unique.
now unique, exactly. Like, now we're at the point where everything's really like, it makes the most sense. We've got video games that come down to, rather than it just got to fit in your hand and do what happens.
Yeah, now they don't even want you to move your hand. Like, they just want you to like just be as comfortable as can be.
Exactly. Like in Nintendo, it seems like they like push the limits a little with Wii, different styles. Like, they set the bar for a reason. They are who they are. They might be a younger audience, but they are who they are.
Hit the Z button. Hit the Z button.
Yep.
But you mentioned Sega earlier. I had a Sega handheld when I was younger.
Oh, bro, the Game Gear.
Game Gear, man. It was so much fun. I used to play a baseball game, and I would always play with the White Sox.
RBI baseball?
What was the name? I cannot remember the name. I'd have to. It's my parents somewhere. It's somewhere in the archives of my parents' house. But like, I'd play the baseball game. I'd play with Frank Thomas, the White Sox, and he would hit it out of the park every time.
Yeah,
I remember going to vacation, like, as a kid, like, playing this everywhere. It was like my first experience with a handheld.
That's how it was with Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. Like, that was such bullshit, bro. Like, unless you were Ken Griffey Jr., like, the bat was bigger, right? It looked like everything about Ken Griffey Jr. was so much better than the rest of the players on the team. So it was like, all right, I'm
99 rating.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and just hit the button, boom, home run. Yeah, right.
Automatic.
Yeah,
it didn't matter, just as long as you were close enough to the time.
But that's probably, like, honestly, like, that's the way I would do it if it was the '90s and like you know, whatever the company is, not Nintendo, but whatever, like, what's the actual like Neversoft, like one of those companies.
That's one, like a publisher, developer.
Yeah, like if they came
Blizzard.
to me, I'd be like, all right, if I'm gonna be the face of it, I'm gonna be the best character on here. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a brand. I mean, King Griffey is a whole brand. I mean, we have his shirts in here.
For sure.
King Griffey's he is like the legend. One of the, like, he had the cleanest swing. He
still
had, like,
does, bro.
He everything about that dude, and like, love that he played in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. He's like so many people's player. Even if you weren't a Mariners or Reds fan,
isn't that
he
crazy?
Still was probably the players of all time.
And why? Because of the swing?
Because like, he also had a really good personality too. He was genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys that you want to just root for and you want to see do well.
His dad was already famous.
Yep.
His dad was already.
And he was still playing.
Exactly. So there's so much story, so much personality, and he was good. Yeah. It was like he didn't let down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think it was the earring, bro.
I think it was. He had fashion. Yeah. He had fashion
back
too.
in the '90s, right? Yeah. Like no one was really stunting like that.
Yeah, he had fashion. He was good. He followed his dad's footsteps and became, if not better, like everything about his story. He lived up.
Yeah.
even the rookie card, his rookie card looks dope. He's like smiling. It's like he doesn't look formed by any means. Yep. He's got like a gap in his tooth. Like everything about that rookie card just screams like
I'm
legend.
I'm worth some money.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
Yeah, like for sure. So he lived up. I mean.
So when it comes to Velocity, you guys are open during the daytime too. I saw because you guys do $6 cheeseburgers or $6 burgers over there from open to 6, something like that.
Yeah, and then on Wednesday we also have the different types of deals. That's mainly like a Wednesday deal. We've also got the happy hour. So we open up Monday through Friday. We open up at 12 o'clock, and then with it being kind of summertime, we also open up at 11 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. So you can kind of come in at different types of times. Obviously, when school's back in session, that's really the easiest time to come in and definitely be able to make sure you can get time on the PCs or the PlayStations, or even if you want to have a drink at the bar and be kind of a little bit more secluded, but different types of deals. We've got different things for different days that you can come in, and we want to make sure, like going back to that original pillar, that no matter what day you come in, even if something's different, you're going to have some type of an experience.
For sure.
And we've got to make it worth it. Because even with esports, like we were talking about before, how do you, if somebody has a game, like Julius, even beforehand, if he has his Mortal Kombat at home, how do we get him to come out of his home and basically pay us to play on our state-of-the-art, gaming PCs, if he doesn't have to? Like, he's got to be able to at least get something unique out of the experience, whether or not like the PC's better than his PC, or we've got better controllers or headsets. All of our chairs in there are Cougar gaming chairs, to the point where after I sat in one initially for the first time, I was like, I have to get one of these.
Yeah, you want to buy one for yourself? Yeah.
And then I looked at the price and I was like, okay, this is $500 chair is kind of a lot to spend money on, but I was like, it's worth it. So it just, when you go in there and you have that like your own little area, and then just like he was saying, you can bring your own mouse pad so you can play exactly how you're going to play at home.
And that's crucial, dude.
Yeah.
Like I know after work sometimes, me and Max, like we'll stay up. I bring my own controller to work. I have my own controller for a reason. I bring it to work. Like he brings his own controller sometimes. I think he brought his own headset the last time we went and played.
Yeah.
Like I like playing on our stuff because like I don't have my own PC at home, but I have PC games I want to play, and like I can just play them over there.
Yeah,
it's perfectly fine.
And you got, so you said earlier you can save it too, right? So if somebody wants to, if they're just going to come here every Thursday, they can just pause. They can save the game and come back next week. Is that what I was understanding?
Yeah, depending on like the game that it is. You can go ahead.
So even though like you're logging into a public PC, you're on your own account. So no matter what you do on that account, it saves.
Yeah. So it's
game.
all done through Steam.
It's not all done through Steam.
Okay.
If it's a PC game.
Yeah, if it's a PC game.
But like, say
I'm learning, bro. I'm learning. My wife's getting me hip to it.
Yeah. It'll take a little bit of time. There's so much to learn and so much to, even like parents these days. I think more parents now are like, when they'll come in and they'll have their, even if a kid comes in, they're like, I want to play a game. Their parents like, here, can I just hand you off? And it's like, well, we're not a daycare or a babysitting, but we will help kind of, guide you and show you like, this is what they would want to play, and they're kind of good. So if you want to go get something to eat or whatever. At the end of the day, it comes down to, making sure it's a pretty complicated process. Like gaming itself and PCs, like there's 9 different things that could go wrong, just like with streaming. There's like,
bro, you saw it earlier.
There's 100 different things that could go wrong. Yeah.
And this is episode 114, and we still have issues.
Yeah.
Still
Perfect
learning.
example.
Yeah.
Real time. For real.
And to the point where, like, we also, when these guys come in and they want a job and everything else like that, it helps you that much more when and you're an actual gamer, or you're somebody that's not only good with the guest and being able to talk and be personable and everything else like that, but who can fix a crash game if it ever happens. Because it's only a matter of time before something crashes or bugs out and everything else like that.
And everybody's on a timer out there, so if it goes down, they're like, I've only got 30 more minutes, or,
Right. And time is of the essence, for sure. Yeah.
Always, man.
I was thinking, so you said that you have to make the experience unique for the person, or you have to bring them out of their house, or whatever that may be. I think as an outsider that doesn't necessarily play in like a LAN gaming environment, like my friends do, but like like really close friends, like people that I would put in my wedding, if you will, like you know what I mean, the Rushmore, like Mount Rushmore of friends, if you will. They play video games. All of them do. I wasn't on that level. I was more of the be social, friends, and music. But the social aspect of your environment, that would get someone out of the house.
Oh, for sure.
Because if someone's always in the house behind the computer, behind the Xbox, behind the PlayStation, and they love the environment that they're in, their conversation. If you can get those people that they're playing on a weekly basis with, they've never had face-to-face contact other maybe than the Facebook profile or whatever they add online. If you can get them in the same room, that is priceless, dude. That is something people are willing to. I'm sure people are willing to pay whatever, because if they have the money, they're not necessarily kids. They may be 30-year-olds or whatever. And they're like, we can get our homies over here and play the same game in the room when we're only maybe an hour drive tops, whatever.
Right.
I mean, they do like board games over in Cerebus Den over here, right across from you all.
Yep.
And trade on the levee. And they do, everyone comes and they collect together and they play games. The card games, I'm sure board games across the board.
They're playing like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch.
You were just saying like getting people together. Like my first time playing a Mortal Kombat competition, I was nervous because I've always been like behind the screen. I had like the comfort of my couch or whatever. But like going out and playing and like talking to other people, like I got taught new things about the game I played for years. Like dude taught me a character.
You learn, bro.
Yeah.
He taught me something better than I thought I was already like the best at. Like I'll like bullshit around at work and like kids will come in like I'll beat you in any game. Like I don't know about any.
Let's go, boy. Let's go. Yeah.
Like I've had one day like a kid came in. He was like, I'll bust you in Mortal Kombat, and I was like, you might want to take those words back before like my competitive side comes out.
Yeah,
right. I'm on the clock, but I'm about to shut up. Let's bring in some business. Let's go.
I literally went to my boss and was like, hey
Devin, I'm about to clock out for about 30 minutes real quick.
I was like, can I have like 10, 15 minutes to show this kid who's boss, and like he literally like.
You should. I think the company should allow such thing, because that
it's interaction.
It's interaction. And you're going with the customer. You maybe take 15, 20 minutes out of your shift or whatever, but in the company time that is very limited in that kid's like standpoint that I played with him. I'll be back next week. I'll be back next week. He will.
Yep.
That's an investment in people.
Yeah, he was back again to play the other day.
Yeah, that's an investment in people. The company. If I was running the show, I'd be like, you guys get 30 minutes of game time per shift. Use it wisely. Like you obviously have to monitor to a degree,
right?
But like you let them play with the little youngsters, man.
Again,
let them
building that experience. Changing. Somebody could come in and they could just play a game for an hour and then pay their time and then leave. Or you could have the guy that works there rooting for you.
Yeah.
Wanting to see you do good, or you could come in and shit talk him, and then this guy ends up actually going against you, and you play, and then but he beats you or you beat him, but somebody's talking trash, and like, I'm going to do it again next week.
Build a relationship. Yeah.
That's the truth too, man. Like what you're saying is like if he comes up behind him and hits him on the shoulder, like, bro, that was like a killer shot, dude. You know what I mean? Like you've got somebody rooting for you that. At your house, like your mom's not gonna walk in and go, "Hey, bud, fucking nice shot."
Right.
I mean, if anything, she's telling you keep it down. I'm trying to watch TV.
Keep it down. Dinner's ready. Like get out of here. So it's like for somebody like you to go in and reiterate, yo, you're doing a good job, dude. Keep it up. That's that reinforcement. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing, man. Whether it's games or sports or just learning in general, man. Like you need somebody like you that's there to push them to the next level and just say good job, dude. So I really appreciate you guys for that, man, because this youth is tough, bro. Like being a kid in today's day and age is insane, right?
For sure.
Like we see it all the time with them coming in here, and like we got to bite our tongue on so much stuff that happens, but it's like, man, like at the end of the day, dude, there's so many these kids can be doing so many other things, right? But they're here, and if they're here and if they're talking to us, I'm down to listen. I'm down to give advice, whatever, man. And so same goes to you guys. If they're coming in there, give them that experience and give them that competitive feel, bro. Because when you first went out and did that Mortal Kombat tournament. Like that added so much more ammunition to your belt that you didn't realize, right? Because you're sitting behind the computer in the house and you think you've got it all, but when you go out there and when you see people face to face and you see the guy that's peacocking over in the corner thinking that he's the best, right? You're like,
completely
okay,
different,
like okay, so now like that mental is just as good as the physical, because they can get into your head and mess you up. Where you see it all the time on these esport things. Yep. where these kids will start cursing at another kid over here, and all of a sudden it gets in his head, and this guy can't even play the game anymore. I saw just last week the guy stood up and tried fighting another esport guy because he got into his head.
I'll never forget, it was the first tournament I went to back in 2009 for MLG. And, before then you kind of got to play in like qualifiers and everything. And when we got there, there was I think it was 298 teams. And I was just like, wow, okay. I knew that there was all these teams of 4 and there's a bunch of people. And at this point in time, I don't know if I'm any better than you, but I know that guy's name from online. But once you sit down and play, especially if you get to the point where you're up on the crowd or on the stream and everything else, it's that mental, it just hits you so differently. You get nervous, you're you get in your head, and then you think, I just didn't do that good. Am I one of the screens that they're showing on the stream right now? What do people think of me?
There's a lot of that stuff that you don't realize,
your head,
man.
that when you have somebody that, even if they're playing, even in here, if it's a younger person, even an older person, everybody loves hearing positive reinforcement. And so to go that little bit of interaction, have that little bit of guest feedback, or be able to talk to somebody and be able to egg them on and tell them, hey, good job, good play.
Yeah.
It's definitely big, and it's definitely something that we definitely like to try to promote and pride to everybody.
Well, even working here, I've never played League of Legends. I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I just never played it. So I had 3 people in one day were playing it, and I was like, so what are you doing? Tell me how I play. And they were coaching me on what to do. I even added one of them on my Discord. So
there you go, bro. And that's the thing, man. You're making friends over there without even knowing it. So that's a big draw to getting them from the bedroom to here. Is, hey, there's gonna be especially if you make it to where this night is Valorant, or this night's Fortnite, or this night is League of Legends. Mm-hmm. And you keep it going. You're gonna. Those people that talk in League of Legends, they're probably on a League of Legends Discord, or they're in there on Reddit. Because gamers are gamers, man. And if they love a game, they know everything about it. They know the top players. They know the whole thing, dude. So
you always try to go out of your way to find people that are as good as you
in
your area. So if you find 1 or 2 people that are really good in your area, just plain and simple, you're going to end up having a whole group of people come in. So it's definitely one of those things that's definitely really, really unique and cool to be able to have. And then at the end of the day, like we were talking about before, say you don't want to come in and play esports, you can have a beer. You can end up getting something to drink. You can have our
bomb-ass tacos.
Tacos, the chicken frigo tacos.
Fire.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed those. Those
Fire.
really good.
All the food.
Yeah, good.
Fire, man.
Yeah, our general manager and our kitchen manager definitely top to bottom redid the menu. They wanted to think of new, inventive, different things to come up with, and something to set us apart, but also kind of still feel that local flavor from around here. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed everything.
Yeah, you hit everything,
sure.
man.
And that's not like you guys have a small kitchen over there either, man. You guys have a whole section over there that's big enough for its own restaurant. You guys probably have 15 tables over there. And the wood-fired oven, which is that's one of those things where people die to have those.
Oh,
man.
for sure, yeah.
So the fact that you got it right inside the building here is awesome, man. And then having that whole area over there, we can still play the old nostalgia games if you want to, man. If you want to play Time Crisis or one of those games, I love those games, man. Those ones where you got an hour game card and you can just keep plugging it in because I still remember the time when you had to put quarters in to win the games, right? And you didn't have a time card. And was it Time Crisis? There was a game that was just it was a sharpshooter game. It was really popular in the arcades. And the very last scene, the villains got your girl, and they're on top of a building, and she tries to escape, and she. The guy falls, so now the enemy is hanging off the side of the building.
That vaguely sounds familiar.
And you got to zoom in with the sharpshooter, and you got to shoot the bracelet, the actual. And so but that game that was one of those things where that was the first time that I was ever able to play a game without having to shove quarters in.
Sure.
Right, so that was the first time that me and my buddy Damon were actually able to beat the entire game from beginning to end at an arcade, which is you know, you can never do that before because it would cost you hundreds of dollars.
So much
right?
money, yeah.
Yeah.
So when that whole thing changed over from like pumping quarters in to, hey, we'll give you an hour pass. It's like, oh, dude, so I can just sit here and just rock out this game all day. You know.
Yeah, that's a game changer too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like just the fact that you can. I mean, the idea, the fact that you don't have to use change for games anymore, and that idea in general is just like, why didn't we think of that before? But like technology, you know, progresses.
Yep.
But like,
and you guys got the tickets and everything over there too, so you can still win prizes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff just loads onto your card. Like even you guys are saying we have old school games. Even like older folks will come in and like, you guys got skee ball? Yeah, to take you right over to skee ball.
Yeah.
Or the classic
gotta have that
hyper shoot,
stuff.
You know,
You
the
have to have that
basketball
stuff, yeah.
game that you always want to challenge either the date or your best friend with. You
Always,
know, like,
bro. That's
the staples.
That takes so much real estate too. It's like, man, those things are like four deep, 5 deep, 6 deep. You know, and they take up a whole wall. But you have to have them because those are things like without a hot shot or a pop shot game, it's like, how are you going to be an entertainment company? Because that's the one thing that couples will always go to, and they'll compete. You know what I mean? That's just
There's that. There's let's see, what's another good one? So you got
other good games.
Skee ball, basketball's a really good one.
You guys got that big Galaga, right? The big jumbo
that
Galaga.
one's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that one serves as like a nostalgic thing just because of the game Galaga.
That,
but
or even
then,
like Speed of Light.
Yeah.
Like couples will come and play Speed of Light against each other. We got actual arcade Mario. I've seen a couple of couples.
Yeah.
do that.
Mario Kart, yeah.
You got the Mario Kart.
Yeah, like an actual Mario Kart.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think that would be another genius thing is doing like a Mario Kart tournament.
oh, for sure.
You know.
For sure. You got Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, even like a.
You know how many tournaments they have that I can't enter personally because I know. Like,
Every tournament I come up with, he's like, "Oh, can I have off that day? Because I want to be able to participate in it." Like every single one.
Let me have that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Start splitting the pot with them.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
give you the day off.
Like a Mario Party tournament. That would like a huge Mario Party event.
you'd probably get
That's
so many people.
Man, the half the city would be.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, we're gonna have weeks of this because you can't do it in one night.
Multi-stage tournament. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like even with going back to our events, and like we actually have the availability to where if we were to have a company come in and they want to come out and say they just want to do food or they want to have some of our chicken frico tacos or just even anything like that, you can also say, okay, we've had different companies in the past come out and say, let's do a scavenger hunt, or let's do we're going to do hyper shoot, skee ball, Mario Kart, and the winner, everybody gets divided up into different teams. You've got 5 teams of 5 people. The person with the highest score on each one of those games, and it's like a team building company thing and an exercise to bring whatever company or group of people together. There's so many different things you can do, not even touching the esports thing, and then obviously you can bring that into it, and it gets that much more in depth. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to it.
Even with like esports, that's such like a huge team building thing because most games you require a teammate. Like I play with my girlfriend, my best friend. I got 3 people out of a 6-player game. Like I know I can communicate and I can trust and have like that backbone.
Right.
So even like if you have a company and they come in and they want to play Overwatch or something, like as long as they're working together, hey, that's team building right there.
Right.
Dude, yeah. Really?
You know what's crazy, man? Talking about these teammates and stuff, man. I saw a video maybe like 4 months ago, and it was a guy was at a football game, and his girlfriend was recording his reaction, and all it said was when you finally get to meet your online gaming buddy.
I saw that.
And it was
yes.
it was Odell Beckham Jr., bro. Like, and so like the guy is like just standing here on the side of like the first row of where the stadium is, and you just see Odell Beckham. Like once he realizes like this is my gaming buddy, it looked like Odell was more excited to see him than he was to see Odell, right? And it's like that probably means so much to Odell because that's like one of those things where he's the face behind the game, right? So you don't know that this is unless it says like ODJ or whatever OBJ on as his name on the thing.
Somebody's not looking for your friendship or anything because
exactly,
of your fame
bro.
or your popularity.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got everything, but
and then these
gaming buddy's different.
These two guys relate on so many levels, right? Because they've got the same interests, right? So now all of a sudden, this dude's hanging out with one of the most popular NFL players in the game,
athletes in general,
because they like the same online game, bro. And that's where it's
at, man. They trust each other. They trust each other. There's a trust that
that's the thing, bro. Like he
walked
up to him like they've known each other for years.
Right.
That was the crazy thing.
It's actually crazy the amount of people that are athletes that also play. You know,
they can't go out. Yeah. They can't go out to the bar,
they're
bro.
Always in home, and they're so competitive. I remember back in the day, that's actually one of the things that made me reach out to the person that ended up sponsoring us back in Halo. So there was a team back in the day, and they were like the old school Patriots, to where Tom Brady was on the team. They won every single Super Bowl. There was this team in Halo called Final Boss, and one of the guys was actually he went to St. Henry, and his younger brother went to Ryle. And they were like two of the best pros, but on this team, they were sponsored by Gilbert Arenas, the old NBA star.
Do you remember the name of the guy who went to Ryle?
Yeah. Aaron Elam's his name. He's one of my buddies. And then his older brother is Kyle Elam.
Okay.
And then there was another guy named Michael Kavanaugh, and he went to St. Henry.
Okay.
So Kavanaugh was the one on Final Boss. So they basically were all playing in like 2007, 8, but they had Gilbert Arenas pick them up, and their team was like they didn't lose. They were a God squad. Yeah. So after I saw that there was an actual athlete out there that would, like, if you were good enough to be able to pay for your team pass and your plane tickets and everything else, during the time, Bungie, which was the first developer of Halo, they posted a thing that they said, like, we went and played with the Bengals. So I found out one of the Bengals, the most prolific one, was Deltha O'Neal. He was one of the cornerbacks. He went on to play with the Patriots and the Texans afterwards. But they had his gamer tag, like, right there. And I was like, I'm going to contact him. So I created that, like, friendship and everything. And obviously he wasn't that good. But some of these players are really good. And after, like, a couple months of talking to him and playing with him and everything else like that, I kind of brought the idea up, and he was really interested in MLG. And so that kind of brought the whole sponsorship along. But back to the amount of pro athletes that are into gaming,
well, it's not even
it's
pro
crazy.
Athletes. It's Post Malone plays Apex.
Celebrities,
He's literally singing all the time. He could just sing all he wants, but he plays Apex. Like, if you've ever watched him play, he has some immaculate clips.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. I mean, there's a lot of those artists. So Quavo, when he was dating Sweetie, so they broke up, and there was like this big video that went on TMZ where they got into a fight in the elevator, and like, everybody's speculating, like, oh, they must have gotten a fight inside their house. And I'm like, look at the video. Like, he's got this like super limited Xbox, right? So it was the Xbox that came in a briefcase.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what version that was, but I know it's super fucking rare.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if Quavo is leaving with his Xbox, he's not coming back.
Oh, for sure.
So Sweetie is grabbing onto his Xbox because she knows that that's the one link that he's going to come back to the house and play, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's like packing up like all of your clothes, right? And then leaving. Like, so
your valuables,
so like everyone's all freaking out over this relationship, like oh, they're beating each other up. It's like, bro, he's leaving, and she doesn't. She knows that Xbox is what's going to keep him at the house. Like, and that's when it comes to music artists, when it comes to celebrities, man. Like, it gets to a point where you can't go to the bar because you can't enjoy yourself.
Right. You have to have that outlet. And what better outlet than, like you were saying,
bro,
just playing
like,
online at home.
And honestly, like, I really think the future is if they can figure out a way to do like meet and greets live over the internet through esports and or whatever, dude. Like, this is going to be something that for instance, like Travis Scott, when he did Fortnite, it was record breaking, right? It was insane. And if you actually had the chance to take your character and walk up and say hi to Travis Scott, and Travis Scott was able to respond to you, you would be talking about that moment just as if you met him in real life.
In real concert,
right? So how much safer is that for a celebrity, and the outreach is bigger, right? Because you can meet tens of thousands of fans instead of 1,000 fans.
There's plenty of fans that can't afford a concert ticket for the front row.
Right. You know what? And then something else that now you're talking about that, the fact that Fortnite is a free game to download, but like the statistics said that the average like user spent like $82 or $85 on the game, which is more than what like the $60 like what's used to be 60. It's now it's 70
game,
or 80 now, but that's one of those things where it's like, look, dude, like, that's so genius. Like, if you give the game away for free and then put add-ons in there, let these people build their characters up. They're going to love their characters more. And then they're going to get to a point where they're spending more money than the original 60 than they were to buy the game.
And it's actually funny you bring that up. Julius and I were talking about that the other day. The fact that there's so many games out there that do that now, and like people online have kind of coined it like modern gaming. The only bad thing is Fortnite was one of the ones to do it, and they did it really well. But there's a lot of other people that are saying, oh, Fortnite made all this money. We're going to do that too, and we're going to have a free model game like Apex, definitely one of the better ones for sure. But there's so many games that come out and they say, we're going to piecemeal it out to you over every couple months. It might be stuff that they've had done for like 5, 6 months, 7 months, but it's not going to come out for another year because they know they're going to
buy that stuff.
Exactly. So when it works, it's amazing. Right. But I feel like most developers are taking advantage of it to the point where, like, if I buy a game, and there's sometimes where you even buy a game, let alone if it's free, and it's not quote unquote complete, like, again, to go back to Halo, like the newest Halo has had, there's something that's always been in Halo, the majority of the Halos, 3, Reach, 4, 5, and in this one, it's not out in the game. The game's been out for a year, and they're like, to go back and like watch and to play with me and him, say we want to play the same game, that was always in Halo. And for some reason it's not, and they're like, we'll release it later on. It's like,
oh, you're talking like the
co-op,
waiting to release co-op stuff. Yeah, there's several games that do that.
So when they piecemeal it, it's kind of annoying.
It's aggravating, man. And they do it. Netflix does it too. Like they all do it, and it's always a money grab, right? It's like, you know, people like they know people binge, so they don't want to give you the whole nest right up front because then you'll get played out after 6 months. Exactly. So let's just, you know, in the sales world they call it carrots, and it's the most aggravating thing. So like, if you're in a sales job and they go, hey, next sale gets a sale, right? That's a carrot, and they call it a carrot because that's what you hang over in front of a donkey to get him to keep walking forward, bro. Like that's the craziest analogy. Like, but that's what they do. They want to keep you moving forward, and they don't want you just to, you know, the attention span is very short with humans today, with the amount of content, amount of video games coming out and everything. So, you know, if we can get to the point where we can just slowly feed you the info, and then so instead of you just like beating the game and beating it to a pulp in 3 months and never wanting to come back to it, we're gonna make this 9 months long. Yeah. You know.
Let's try to make it, you know, as long and expand the longevity of it. You know?
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna tell you a strange story, and it's not a strange story. It's Red Dead Redemption 2. Like when Red Dead Redemption came out, like that game blew me away, dude. I was just, there was something about it that just like captivated me. And I don't know, maybe it was the open format like Ocarina of Time or something. But when the second one was coming out, it was like prolonged for like years, bro. Like 2-3 years it took before like you started hearing the rumbles and it finally released. And I kept telling my wife, girlfriend at the time, I was like, I can't wait for this game to come out. Can't wait for it to come out. It's coming out. And it's $80 right when it released. But I was like, I bought it anyways, and I threw it in the system, and it had like hours of updates, so I didn't get to play it right away. And then she goes in and plays it, right? So she's a gamer, but she doesn't. I'm the one that's been Red Dead Redemption till I die. Yeah. She goes in and she finds this white majestic horse within like a half hour of opening the game, right? So she starts the game, she goes to this one spot, finds this white majestic horse that like is super rare in the game. And so now it's like I can't even play the game because if I lose this horse, which I'm very good at just losing my cars or bro, just damaging my shit and having to find a new one. So now it's like I can't even play this game, bro, because if I lose this horse, like I'm gonna be out of my house, man.
For
like,
sure, she'll kick you out.
Yeah, bro.
Sure.
And it was funny because like I was looking into it, like this thing can't be that rare, and I'm like, I start Googling it on YouTube and everything, and it's like there's like maps to try to find this damn horse, and she found it within a half hour, bro. Like opening the game. And it's like, well, there you go. Now
there's so many different things that, you know, she might have just been picking up. Like gaming in general has the unique take to be able to affect you in so many different ways. Like she could have literally been on there to be walking through the woods.
That's what it was, like, bro.
You know what I mean? Like it can open you up to different things. Like he and I play games. I wouldn't say different because we're both very competitive, but we play like a different style of games. And even then, we can still find something very common to be able to talk about. And there's one or two games that we both play, like Overwatch is one of them. But in general, just that gamer mentality. Like back in the day, like we were talking about, it was like, one of those things that like people didn't talk about. But now it's gotten to a point in life where so many people do it. Like my younger brother, when he was growing up, when I asked him right around, he was a senior in college, I asked him what he wanted to be. He was like, I want to be a streamer. And it's like the doctors and lawyers and firefighters are now, I want to be a YouTuber or a streamer. It's
crazy.
Just so weird how it changes. And it's like, you always got to make sure you have somewhat of an education in general, at least during that young of an age. But if you want to do it, set your, there's been plenty of other people to do it. But esports or professional esports now is almost exactly like the NFL. I was thinking about this yesterday. And
there's sponsorships, the whole nine.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that are really, really, really good, like amazing athletes. And you've got that at the University of Florida or Alabama or whatever. But not all of them make it to the NFL. Same thing with gaming. You've got plenty of people. You could have a house down the street who could be the best player. But, like, who knows if he's willing to dedicate the time and everything else. And maybe if he gets signed to a team or if he washes out within a year. It's literally just like sports. There's so many good people out there, but you don't know if, you're going to make it or you're going to stay in it. That's why you always
just practicing. Like,
exactly.
You constantly have to
bro.
play the game. Like, I've taken a break from – it's a game called For Honor. It's another one of my fighting games. I took a break from that for, like, 3 months. And then tried to come back, and I was nowhere near – like, I used to be top 50 in the game. Now I'm back to, like – 2000.
That's crazy, bro.
You got to keep playing and practicing. You got to push yourself to keep playing those games. Otherwise, you're just going to end up like
get rusty. Yeah.
It's that constant grind. Yeah. And like you were mentioning, the money aspect, the sponsors and everything, like back when I was sponsored in general, I wish I was actually good enough still to be playing and be able to compete because the money is just ridiculous. You've got esports places that open up. You've got organizations that not only will pay for your flight and your team pass and everything else, your travel, but they'll also pay you a salary so these people can actually stay home and do that. It's crazy the way things have come, compared to playing on the little rectangular NES Sega games and playing Sonic, and it's ridiculous.
Dude, I was hooked as a kid, man. I actually when NBA Jam came out, I was living in Chicago, and I was in a big tournament out there, and I actually I landed in third place on the tournament, and this was like Blockbuster, so Blockbuster Video did this big tournament in Chicago, and I felt like I was in the movie The Wizard, bro. Like, have you ever seen the movie The Wizard?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. You got to watch. I know you haven't seen it because it's
never heard of it.
So The Wizard is like Fred Savage, like 1990, but it's about like the Nintendo and like. His younger brother was like on the autistic scale, or was like he was just quiet. I don't know if he's autistic, but really good at video games. So they were like, we got to go to California so we can get him in this Nintendo tournament. So they ran away from home, and like the whole movie was them like trying to get to California to get him into this little Nintendo tournament. That was the first time they ever showed like Super Mario 3, and so teamwork.
Yeah.
So that Super Mario 3, like that was the first time, like, I mean, before the internet was around, dude, like it's not like we heard rumbles of like the new Halo coming out. So like in the movie theater, that was the first time we ever even heard about Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shit. And we got to see these kids play it. And then we got to see the hidden warp zone that somebody landed in. So like getting to see that first experience through like, without having the internet around was absolutely insane, man. But that's one of those things, like the tournaments and everything that's happening, man. Like these things, they're just they're getting more popular and they're getting more mainstream, right? So and there's money on the table. So if you can become a good gamer, and I think more than being a good gamer is like having that
like personality.
Bro. You got to have something that sticks you out. That somebody like Native goes, I want him to wear my clothes.
Yes.
Whether it's you talking shit to the other 75 guys there, or whether you're walking around,
you're funny or something. Because that's the thing. Like in general,
comedy,
nowadays, everybody, they've made it to the point where like doing something like this 4 or 5 years ago was very hard to do. Now it's like throw out production level. Like this is a very highly ran podcast, but at the same time,
thank you.
You couldn't do it. You're welcome. You couldn't do this that easily 5 years ago, maybe even 6 or 7 years ago. But now everybody can download OBS, or they can go get a capture card. Almost all the computers out there are like viable and able to stream. So anybody and everybody can stream. So you are literally no different than anybody else. You've got to have something that makes you unique, that makes you stand out. I remember back in the day, you would get a lot of viewers on Twitch or even YouTube if you were just really good at a game.
Right.
But now
you have to have some sort of gimmick, like Dr. Disrespect. He has a whole get up, or
being good is not enough.
Some dude named the Gecko who
being
just dresses
good
up.
Is not enough.
Yeah.
What a statement.
At least on as far as
the
streaming.
truth,
It's so
it's
true. It's so
true.
You know, it just really like makes you think like there's a reason that when we go into like streaming or bands, there's a look to things.
Yep.
There's a way that they present themselves. There's a way that you execute.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be good.
Yeah,
you have to be talented in whatever that medium is. So
you just have so many people that they're going to be like, okay, I'm just going to move on to the next one. I'm bound to find somebody.
Yeah.
And then you have so many different people doing it. You're probably going to find somebody. You're going to find so many people that literally are just playing a game, if we're talking about streaming, and they're not going to interact with it. It's so hard because when you first start out streaming, you kind of don't want to know how many people you have, because say you have 10, say you have 40, say you have 1, like your mood is going to change, just like when we were talking about going to an event. Like you're a different person. Your mental side gets into it when you're actually in person at an event, and it really matters. Same as if you were to stream for 0 people, and then all of a sudden you've got 100 people in there.
Yeah.
Like you feel different.
With my stream, because when I stream, I turn off how long I'm streaming. Like I don't want to see how long I'm streaming. I don't want to see how many people are in there. I turn off everything, so it's basically like 0.
That's smart.
So that way my mood never changes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can still game. Like when I first started, I was like, I don't want anyone to like come watch my stream because I'm good. I just want them to like watch because I'm doing something stupid, or I'm dying repeatedly to something I shouldn't die. But like now, like I'm just really good at what I'm playing. So it's like you're watching either because I am really good, or you like the personality I have behind the screen.
Right. Like it's playing like with I always go back to music, but it's playing like in front of 100 people or 10 people.
Yep.
You should play the same regardless.
What is
1,000 people, so on and so forth.
It's like they always say, like practice how you play, or play how you practice,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yes,
that
exactly.
is.
It's
Like,
very
literally.
true, because you're not only doing repetition, muscle memory, and all that, those dynamics, but you are in the headspace. The mental state is so important, because when you're locked in and no one else, we call it tunnel vision. When you're tunnel visioned, it's really easy to block it out.
Sure. Yeah.
But if you have some windows and some holes in that tunnel vision, and people are looking in, and you can see the eyeballs, that's when the pressure gets to it. So you have to keep it. You have to keep it consistent. It's all about that. It's being patient and understanding that the game's going to come to you, and you also need to be like beyond focus. I would call hyper focus.
Sure.
Be so into whatever you're doing and passionate about it that the outside eyes and the whispers don't matter.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of people, but if you can really get into it, that separates.
Yeah.
Even
for sure.
Men for the boys kind of thing.
Playing some games, like my team will be telling me something, but I'm too focused on like I think I was playing what game? I forget. I think it was either Overwatch or it was some team game, and my girlfriend was like, "Hey, pass the ball," and I was like already scoring.
Bro, it's not like
everyone
it's
was
really easy for the coach to yell that, man.
Yeah.
already behind. But
Easy
like,
for the
coach.
coach.
I'm already doing what I had to, and I won the game like that. So like, it's just like you gotta focus.
Yeah,
that's why someone in there.
Dude, that's why they for like military sense, that's why they always have people yelling over you, putting you in high intense situations in your own camp. So as long as people are coming at you heavy and everything's bombarding you, and you can keep the focus and keep the sniper rifle or keep whatever thing you have to do, if you keep focused and this person is still bringing the rain, the pouring down,
and you can still Michael Jordan
and you can
that shit,
still
man.
Michael Jordan it, that is how they separate.
That's what separates
and
people,
and then you take that class of person, you move up. I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now, video gamers and people that are out there doing those high intense moments in those situations are not like, it's different than holding a real rifle, but like that level of focus, there is correlation of some level of human. They may not have gone down that path, but like the correlation of someone driving a jet, flying a plane, and like the simulations are so close, and you have to, if it's a real high intense situation, you're gonna be a different level. But like I'm sure these companies are looking for the high intense gamers, the high intense people that are in those highest level of that situation, because it's real to them. You're in a real moment. We talk about VR being real life, living in that moment, but you're in, like, you've got the Oculus on, you're going in, but like that that moment is so real.
Oh,
your sensories are so high. So like people know. They recognize there's a similarity. It's all about form-fitting the human into the right position of job. But like,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but it's so real. And technology has really helped us to get to this point. And it's fascinating to me. I love thinking about that kind of stuff because I don't know, just the world is a vast place. And when you have like, you can play a game that you feel like you're in it, dude. You're in it. And then like, oh man, like when you get out of it, you're like, oh, this is reality.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So like that's actually a good transition because I'm wondering, do you guys want it to get to the point that gaming gets that high in depth where, you know, instead of being behind the computer, you guys are actually in that little circle that you're running,
like Ready Player One.
Yeah. Literally, as soon as gaming gets like that, it's over for most people.
Yeah, I think
for sure
that'd be really unique, and it would be really cool for sure. I don't know if we're any like Oculus and what's the other ones, like Vive and everything else like that. I think that'll take also a certain type of person as well, because like not everybody is in shape enough to run or something like that, you know what I mean? So I think it might take a little bit of time to catch on, but I think it's bound to happen. You know, like look at where we were talking about square controllers before, and now we're talking about angular, and he's talking about buttons on the back of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's only a matter of time before it iterates.
For sure.
I don't know. How would you feel about it?
Well, most people use gaming because, like, I have a cousin who can't walk, so they use gaming and they use that as like an escape. So I feel like we go into like the Ready Player One where you have to be up and you're walking in real life as your character moving. I don't think it's gonna be a good situation. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool concept, but like gaming's it's supposed to be for everyone. Like anyone can go around and they can pick up a controller and they can get good at one game or they can get multiple games.
For sure.
But I would say with someone that can't walk or someone that can't see or along those lines, I do think adaptation is going to happen. Apple has done a really good job of using technology to allow people to use their technology without able to see. I have an aunt that's blind, and she has to go through different hurdles to live life, and she does an amazing job at it. I don't know how she's superhuman, really, but outside of that, technology.
Shout out to Aunt Dina.
Yes, Aunt Dina. Yes, shout out to Aunt Dina.
She's memorable, man.
She is. She really is. She's a very smart person. I'm gonna have an interview with her one day, and I've done a little bit. We've talked about it, but I think I'm gonna do a whole interview. She's been blind since birth, so she's never seen anything.
But she's smart as shit,
she's
dude.
She's so smart.
She knows if you're in the room. She knows a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, she knows where you're at. She knows. She can if you met you 3 times, I think, or 3 times, and she knows your footsteps. She knows who you are based on footsteps. It's really amazing. But outside of that, I think the adaptation of how technology will grow with that. So someone that can't walk will have they call it handicap, of course, for a reason. But in golf, handicaps exist for people that aren't as good.
Sure.
And there's basically a scale that everyone falls on to a degree. And what's your handicap? It's a universal thing. We all know the time. We all know the time, right? We all see the same time. Handicaps kind of work the same, where everyone is in the same register. Some people, the pros, are obviously out of the handicap. They're in the world of making it for a living. But there are people that are really good, and there are people that are just starting. So what's your handicap? With video games, it's much the same, where there's going to be a handicap level, and they're going to, even with VR, they're going to adapt to people with wheelchairs. They're going to have to. Make
it more accessible.
Yes. And trust me, the smart people out there creating this stuff they are so smart that they're going to add everybody involved because it's in their best interest. These people out there, there's a select few, I believe, that are just creating all this technology. It's not a bunch of people. It's select humans that are out there, named or unnamed. Who knows where they may not want to be named. Some people don't want to be public.
Sure,
they're just super talented. I don't want you to know where I live.
They don't want the recognition.
Yeah, no, don't Google where I'm at. Just I'll go home and I'll make the technology. You guys, human race, can enjoy it. They're paying me enough so I don't have to worry about it again.
Yeah.
But whoever's creating the technology is not going to forget people who can't walk, who can't see, who can't hear, and who can't speak. And so they're going to adapt. So someone that can't walk, like your family member,
even what you're saying, can't speak, they have pinging systems in games now.
Right.
That's true.
Apex was the first one to get actual real recognition for it. You can ping everything in any. You can ping who
easier
opened
way
this
to communicate.
box, who ran past here. the ping system is great for that. Like I don't like using my mic half the time, so I'll just ping if I need to.
Right.
Like if I'm not streaming or I'm not with my group of gamers, like the group of I run games with, it's ping system all the way.
Sure. It's for some people and it's not for everybody. It's not meant for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just the way it is, because we all live different walks of life. We have different reasons for whatever. And if you have a disability of any sort, anything, there's an adaptation
we'll find
in technology.
Something
to
yes. be able to have you have
right.
just as good of a experience as somebody that is
right.
just as normal or physically able or whatever.
Yeah,
so
it's better for business. It's better for everybody.
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
no downside to it because the world is always growing.
Yeah.
And technology and video games are it's literally, I'll come in here, I'll be working here, and I will say like 3 to 5 people at a shift are like, what's that video game thing over there? What's going on over there? And they point at Velocity, and it was before it was GameWorks. I'm like, it's video games, go play. Like, we thought it was an arcade. We're not sure what it is. We don't want to go in there because they I don't know. We're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, go check it out, guys. And like, because people don't necessarily jump right into, they see things,
right.
they ask questions because they're comfortable here, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very common, and they're all ages. So like, that is just a proof in the pudding, really.
Even
like,
when people do walk in, it's my first question is, are you guys looking to play esports, or are you guys looking to play arcade games? Like,
right.
we got both for a reason. You might as well enjoy
yourself. The desk for some people aren't comfortable going to the desk and asking. Some people just want to know before they go.
Sure.
And then there's some people that are comfortable with asking, information desk. It just comes in all waves. People are the comfort level changes, right? Yeah. And they ask us because we're comfortable. We're sitting here hanging out. It's an environment that someone feels we're all just here hanging out. There's music playing.
Friendly, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they ask us, and we tell them what it is. But I noticed these kids are anywhere from 10 to 30, 40 years old, asking the same question. It doesn't matter the age.
That's the main thing that we kind of really wanted to like focus on as far as the space that was in there before GameWorks. We kind of looked at what they did and what they used to have as far as their demographic, and we're fine with what they had at GameWorks, but we also kind of wanted to say, well, what about the people that are really big into esports, or what about the people that are a little bit older that want to come in and maybe drink or just have really good food or a really good pizza? So before it was kind of more of a younger adult place as far as like children and families and everything. Mm-hmm. So us, when we opened, like, we definitely wanted to be able to have kids in there if they have parents and adults with them to supervise, and then we also have family aspects and atmospheres, but we really wanted to nail down that 21 to 35-year-old range to be able to come in, and just like a sports bar we're working on, actually it'll be done in the next couple of days. When you come in during the season, you're going to end up having the NFL game on one of our huge
that's going to be
TVs.
Huge, dude.
We're also going to end up having where you come in, you can get a beer, and you're going to see the Rocket League tournament on, or
that's
you're going to see the Call of Duty
I was
Championship.
going to ask that. That was my next question. Are you guys going to put like the tournaments on like a big screen rather than a small?
And not even necessarily ones that we're hosting, but just whatever's the most popular.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, there was or maybe a month ago, there was a Fortnite event, and I had texted him and said, we have to have this on our streaming.
That Fortnite event, there was 15 to 20 kids immediately who came in who wanted to play the new stuff. Like, because I know one kid said, well, I don't know if I want to play the new season, so I just came here to buy it first. And I was like, that's fine by me.
Smart kid,
it's
bro.
Like
smart
that new
kid,
Blockbuster. Yeah, like back in the day.
Yeah.
They are smart, man.
It's very smart.
They're smart.
And it's honestly at I wouldn't say cheap, but it's at a very affordable price that you can come in, whether you're playing for an hour, 3 hours, or a whole day. Like, it's definitely easier than going out and trying to buy the game and then do the hassle of taking it back. It's so
hours of updates,
easy.
bro. I hate that, man.
Yeah.
And we've already that's one of his jobs. He has to, every certain amount of days throughout the week, he has
Tuesdays
to go in and
Thursdays.
update the games.
Yeah.
So
it's a whole job.
we take care of all
Right.
that stuff for you, and
Yeah.
you just come in and we root you on, and you have a good time.
And you can have some bomb ass tacos if you're a parent, just letting your kid Jones out over there. So
even if you're not a parent as well, and you want to say, okay, kids, go do something, whatever. And I'm going to go to the social lounge. I'm going to go play pool, or go play shuffleboard or giant Jenga, or we've got couches back there, and we've got big chairs to the point.
Yeah,
where
dude,
you
it's a
just relax.
vibe. It's a vibe.
Yeah,
I've been over there a few times, and we just chill out and have a beer.
It's just a nice, easy place to relax.
It's
a little bit quieter than being up around the bar and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just such a cool experience to see so many different groups of people that come in. And you talk about gaming, and even if you say, oh, I don't like gaming, again, you could still come in there, and it's not like a sports bar, but we've always got sports playing on the TVs. It's that level of drive, competitiveness, welcomingness, And then when we surround everybody with people like him that make you feel included and make you feel happy and root you on, there's nothing better at the end of the day.
For sure, man. So my wife's over here asking about this Valorant thing. I knew she was going to start freaking out about it, man.
Yeah.
So is it going to be a tournament, or is it just one of these things where, like, on a Tuesday or a Friday, you're gonna have that game available? Or
so the way we're doing with the Velocity, the next,
and I've got that video too.
Okay,
whenever you want us to play it, just let me know.
If you want to play the graphic real quick, we can do that for you. That way,
does that give the
that'll give like the games that are upcoming and some of the prize pools, how much it is.
Okay. Yeah, so this is it right here. So we can talk over this because this is a muted video here.
Yeah, so this is going to be basically the different types of games. Like one day will be a fight night day, and that could be anything from Brawlhalla to Super Smash Brothers, Tekken 7.
If y'all want to get whooped in Tekken, let me know.
I'm sure he's going to request off on one of those days.
Rocket League.
And then on Thursdays, that's our Rocket League night in general, and you can sign up by going to our Discord, which is a part of the link in the description of all these videos, and then also our Instagram, Velocity Esports Inc. And then from there, you basically sign up, you get put into a bracket, and you don't have to do it from our venue. It can be all from your house.
Mm-hmm.
After you do that, you're going to end up playing your matches, and then it all kind of comes down just like a tournament. The winner of that tournament ends up getting whatever type of prize pool. So, for instance, like the Rocket League is $300. I believe the fighting nights are going to end up being, I think, $100 at least to start. And who knows, once we end up having 50, 60, 70, 100 people come out and do this, it's obviously going to go up from there. So you get, number one, the bragging rights to say, hey, I got 5th out of 40 people, or I took 1st out of 200 people. So she'll be able to play from home, play Valorant. And I personally don't play Valorant, so I don't know exactly.
I have played Valorant.
So he'll probably be able to maybe speak to how you would win, if it would be a team thing, a singles thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll be able to play from home, compete for free, and have the chance to win money, obviously, and the notoriety and the bragging rights that everybody likes in games.
So would she have to log into?
She would use her own right. Like, even like if you come play Valorant in our esports room right now, you have to log into your own Riot account. So she'll get all her skins and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just playing on her own account. I would say it's cool playing online and being at home, but like if you're doing a competition, it's better to like go and
look at you, bro. You went from the first time he was like, I was intimidated by going to the Mortal Kombat tournament. Now you're like, that's how you have to do it, bro.
Dude,
right? You have to do it like that.
One of the last competitions I did, my best friend, he went with me because he knows I'm really good at it. And I'm sitting there, and this kid's across from me. He kills me the first round, and he gets up and he stands up. You're fucking ass. And I just kind of look at him. And my roommate.
Your friend said that?
No, the kid I was playing
kid.
against,
Oh,
he killed me
shit.
the first round. And my roommate goes, don't say anything. I know how you get. Keep it quiet. So I cleaned him. I like flawlessed him the second round. And I like kind of look at him. And then I beat him the whole game. And I stood up and was like, who's fucking ass? Remember who's fucking ass.
Yeah.
I like
Gotta
sent him
let the
past.
play do the talking.
It's literally
Yeah, let the play do the talking. Right.
That's funny.
Right.
Man.
Get, the loudest ones in the room don't always
Yep.
finish last.
You know what though, bro?
Yeah.
Like so you weren't around for these days, man. But when Mortal Kombat first came out in the arcade, there was like so I would be on the left side, right, and you'd be playing, and then you would beat somebody, like you're playing the computer.
The tower. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, some dickhead would come over and throw a quarter in the machine, and then he would be able to fight you. Right?
Oh yeah.
So then if you lost, then the whole thing was gone, bro. You had to start all over. So like there was moments, man, where like people would be putting their quarter on the arcade. Like, I got next. It's like, damn, bro.
Let me finish my
Like,
ladder.
let me just beat the computer, bro. Somebody's trying to come in here and steal my thunder.
Ultimate buzzkill right
Oh,
there.
for real.
Bro, have you ever seen the movie Donkey Kong, The Fistful of Quarters?
No.
Homework assignment for both
sure,
of you,
yeah.
bro. So
We'll have to report back on
dude,
it.
this movie is so, like, I watched it as a joke, and by the end of it, I was so hooked, bro. It was like the 90s to a T.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was this dude who, he was like the top gamer in the 90s. Like every single game that came out, he won the tournaments, and his name, he put his name as USA, I think, as like, he's a douchebag, bro. Like, it's like the show's so good because he's like everybody asks me, everyone always asks me what gamer tag is. He's like, and you guys have seen it the whole time, and he like does like this to his tie, and his tie is just a United States flag. And so that's been his like gamer tag the whole time. But anyway, so this dude's like this badass gamer, right? Who's like got the record on Donkey Kong and like all these other games. And then this guy named Steve Wiebe, who's he's a high school teacher, really good at Donkey Kong, right? So he buys a Donkey Kong unit, puts it in his garage, and beats the game. He records the whole thing, right? Because you have to have the actual footage.
Yeah, the proof.
So to turn into whatever the database is to be like the world record holder. And he beat this guy's record, right? And had the whole thing filmed, turned it into the MLG or whatever, like the big company is to do this. So this guy had a bunch of his buddies come to the dude's house. They broke into his garage, looked at his Donkey Kong machine, and the motherboard had been soldered, like resoldered. So something on there was remelted. So they discontinued. They actually pulled his record and said, "You're not the winner. Like this board's been modified."
They thought he had tampered with it.
Yeah. Okay. So now Steve Wiebe, the high school teacher, is traveling around the country trying to find this fucking guy, bro, to play him in the middle of an arcade. Yeah. And I was like, by 2 hours into it, bro, I'm like, oh my God, is he gonna happen? And then all of a sudden they're in this arcade unit, and then this guy's like, Steve Wiebe's playing the Donkey Kong, and then this nerd like sees what's happening, and so he starts walking around the place, starts tapping people on the shoulder, starts glitch scene, Donkey Kong coming up. And so he's like walking around like, hey, there's about to be a glitch scene, Donkey Kong aisle 3. And so all these people start walking around because apparently at the very end of Donkey Kong, like there's a glitch where once you beat the game, it ends up glitching where your numbers are like flickering or something.
Okay.
But Steve Wiebe was he was just out trying to find this dude. Like, look, I'll beat you right here.
Blood, yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. Like, I'll come. Like meet me down at Velocity. I'll beat you right here.
Right.
Type stuff, bro. Like that movie was so good, man. I swear, it was just some high school teacher that
What's it called? Donkey Kong and
a fistful of quarters.
Fistful of quarters.
Yeah, bro.
That's definitely a homework assignment. We'll have to report back on it.
It's incredible, dude. It's such a good movie, man. Because it's like the nostalgia of like everything that you guys are going through, man. Like, and then this guy, like, it was like the highlight of the '90s or the like late '80s, where like, you know, this dude was just traveling around, just winning these tournaments, and like, you know, just having like this normal guy from Wisconsin or Illinois or wherever he was from, he was like,
that sounds so intense. The whole story is
bro, like he was traveling around trying to find him, and like, it was
in an arcade near you,
dude. It was like seriously,
Donkey Kong and
they had a referee. Like the referee was in a black and white shirt, like a referee shirt.
Yep.
And he's the one that judges the scores and the whole nine. Like
he's
they
got to
take
be the
it
one that like
seriously,
records it
dude.
and everything else. Yeah.
It's incredible, bro. You got to watch it too if you haven't seen it.
I'm bringing it on. Let's go.
We all got homework.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it again tonight. I'm gonna make Kaylin watch it for the 6th time.
Yeah, I'll watch it for the first. Where do you find it?
Bro, like
YouTube.
Well, here's a better question.
Probably.
When did it come out? Like, is it a newer movie? Or
no,
it's
got to be like 10 to 15 years old, something like that. So it's been around for a while, but it's one of those. It's probably might still be on Netflix, but it might be on Ubi or whatever that shit is now, like Tubi or whatever that is.
Yeah. There's a lot of places to watch stuff now.
Oh yeah.
We've spread pretty thin on streaming something. Yeah.
I found that out the other day, man. I had to Kaylin had to change her credit card, and like all the fucking Netflix, Hulu, all these things. Like we're going to like check in. It's like you need a new payment. It's like, damn, how many of these things are you paying for, dude?
I know,
like,
yeah.
And it's funny too, because like you know, cable, bro, cable. For one thing, like you guys probably don't even know this. So when cable first came out, their main objective was, hey, pay us for the commercials. So when cable came out, their whole thing was, we are no commercials. You guys are paying us $19 a month, so you guys get 24-hour access to TV, to channels, the whole nine, without any interruptions, right? So that was their MO when cable first came out. That was the whole stigma of me and you paying this company for us to watch their stuff,
right?
And then 10 years later, commercials, the whole nine. So that's exactly what happened to not Spotify, but Sirius Radio and XM. So when XM and Sirius came out, they did the same thing. They said, "Hey, pay us $19.99, and you guys won't have any commercials." You know, and so XM and Sirius, they end up battling it out, and XM was the winner of that one. Is XM even? They're still around for sure.
I think it's Sirius XM. I think
Sirius. Okay, so they combined Sirius XM. Yeah,
purchased one. Yep.
So there you go. But that was just one of those things, man. Where like you know, you get into these situations, dude, where like I don't even know where I was going with this, but
because streaming services cost so much money.
That's where So that's what
insane. Netflix went
so
up.
we were paying $160 for cable, right? So we dropped cable to do the $19.99 for Netflix or $12.99 for Netflix, but then
now it's $16.
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Plus, HBO Plus, like HBO Go, like they've got them all.
Disney Plus, it's coveted.
Well, so you buy Disney Plus, you get ESPN and the other one too.
Yeah, and Hulu. Hulu, yeah. Hulu's commercials, though. Let's pivot there. Commercials, those have become almost little mini movies. Have we?
Oh yeah,
even though you see it.
Well, even like getting an ad on YouTube, it went from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. I'm getting a 30-minute ad,
bro, and you can't even bypass it now.
I just exit
you have
YouTube
to wait.
Yep,
you've got to wait.
I make sure any type of streaming service I have to get the option with no ads. Like Hulu has to be no ads. Netflix is going to be coming out with one that has ads.
I'm sure.
And
they should have years ago.
Yeah, there you are. But I think that's what has Netflix on a different tier than everybody else. Is they were ahead of the curve. They put everything in motion. They're innovators, right? So like the commercials being, you know, hey, what's up? A lot of people on the levee tonight.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
that's the cool thing, man.
Yeah,
we're able to see everybody.
Oh man,
down
that's
here.
Sweet.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Kurt in the building. What's going on, Kurt?
What's up, Kurt?
Don't mind that smoke in front of his face.
What's up, y'all?
Yes,
That's the MVP right
hey,
there.
Kurt, what you up to these days? What you watching? What's going on?
I watched Equalizer.
Equalizer? Cool.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Which one do you like better?
I like the first one better.
Yeah.
You know.
First one's pretty good.
First one, so it's like you figure you understand how everything start off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have that
like
all the way up
John
on your
Wick.
mouth, bro.
Huh?
All the way up on your mouth, like your Kendrick Lamar over here.
All right.
Yeah, rap into it, bro.
So I watched the Equalizer 1 and 2. It's the same. Like if you watch John Wick.
Oh yeah.
You know the first one. You know
Just starting the story, bro.
Yeah.
He had a Mustang. Some dudes wanted his Mustang. He wasn't willing to sell it. They tried to steal it. They killed his dog.
And it was over from there.
He assassin.
That set the stage.
So he just went crazy with it, and I'm just like, what? And you know how it is. The sequel.
It's hard to like capture that magic and then also
Always,
expand
bro.
upon it. So
Yeah.
like most of the
That's even with,
time,
like, games,
the sequels aren't as good as the first one because they got to do something different, but like you got to stay kind of true without being completely
That's
different.
just like gaming. Like
That's the truth too,
the first
bro.
Borderlands was
That's
really
Fortnite right
good,
now.
and then Borderlands 2 was the best, and then you're like, hey, here's the pre-sequel. That was complete garbage.
Yeah.
And then they like.
I hate pre-sequels, bro. When they try to do some bullshit
Yeah,
like that, like
like-
Dumb and Dumber, like a prequel to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's literally like
Just
you were
trying
just
to
saying.
capture
Like you were
lightning
just
in a
saying,
Except
bottle.
the
first game's
Hobbit.
always
The
best.
Hobbit really covered some Lord of the Rings stuff that we needed.
You want to hear
I
a
will say that.
weird thing? I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings.
Neither have I, bro.
I've never seen any of the Hobbits.
Neither have
They've
I.
got such a following.
They're
It's
And
ridiculous.
my wife yells at me every single time, bro,
Yeah,
and it's
so
like I don't know
good.
if I want to dedicate 20,
lot of
24
time,
hours of
yeah.
my life
It's a
to
lot.
like
Yeah.
the
It's a-
7
Yeah,
4
well,
hours
just the
movies.
just the trilogy for Lord of the Rings and watch The Hobbit, and
Mhm.
I'm good. I read all the books like when I was way younger, but like reader younger. As I'm older, I'm more
Mhm.
like listener and content on the internet.
Sure.
But like younger, read the books, watch the movies. But Legolas, man, he we talked about bow and arrow earlier.
Mhm.
You know, archery. We were talking RuneScape and all that early on before we recorded whatever, but that was my game of choice when I was younger. Music and RuneScape. That was
Mhm.
kind of my starting.
Quite the pair.
Yeah, man. Focus on the video game that I'm clicking and just play on my bass and just memorize tablature pretty
Sure.
much for hours on hours. I can't even tell you how many
Mhm.
hours that I dedicated to that. No shame. But like it's
Of
just
course not.
yeah, dude, that was ridiculous. But it got me to this point. So but the fact that Lord of the Rings had that much of an impact on me. Like it just like it was so cool. Like the era that it is, the acting, the battle scenes, everything was so epic. And then like The Hobbit just explained where it started, and that prequel, that was important.
Sure.
A lot of prequels, you're like,
they're unnecessary.
They're trying too hard.
You know where it ends. So
exactly.
That,
right.
You've got to make it so different, or there's got to be characters that weren't in the original trilogy or whatever. Because if they're in the original trilogy, it's like, okay, I know where this person's going. I know how it's going to end. Yep. So it's almost like you got to have sometimes characters and stories that are not even involved in it.
That's exactly what happened with the pre-sequel of Borderlands. They showed a character everyone knows as Handsome Jack, but they just called him Jack because that was like who he was at that moment.
Right.
And you know his outcome. Because you
knows entire story.
Yeah. You already know.
You're part of his outcome. You're the reason where he's at today. And like. Some prequels are like worth it. Like I think one of the Assassin's Creeds is a prequel or something. I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed player, but like it's important for some stuff, but not for some of them are just plain out stupid.
I played Origins.
Money grabs,
I played Origins. Might be the prequel. I played the Origins one. My brother told me he's like you should play this. I'm like, all right, like because I play Rocket League a little bit on the side just for fun. I do all right. I do all right, but it's just like one of those things where
Rocket League's a game. Sorry,
Rocket League is like
it's not a league. It's
like soccer.
It's like soccer with cars.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
it's like with a soccer ball or something.
Yeah. It's like if the cars, like instead of the movie Cars, instead of racing, they were playing soccer.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. Landon wants to play it, so like. Because I have a 16-year-old brother, so like he's like in the heart of video games of all. But he's athlete. He's a diver. He does art. This kid is like ridiculous, but like he does all these things. But he also plays some video games, like any 16-year-old does.
Stress relief.
Yep, exactly. He's good at what he does, and he's like, you should play. I'm like, you should play this and this. I'm like, I still play RuneScape to this day. Like it's on mobile. Like it's cool. It's something that you can do. I did it through when I was having my child. Like at home, we were COVID. Like after like she was born, we went through COVID, sitting at home. There's nothing much to do. Play on the phone, whatever, when we were at work. But like, it's like he is so invested in these games, and I'm like, man, I got to bond with him. Let's do it.
Sure.
So I started playing Rocket League with him through Christmas time. Got pretty good at it, like with friends. Like not on like a serious level, but like enough to like when I'm playing the games, I'm not the person that they're like talking trash to. I'm fitting in with everybody.
You're not like holding them back.
Yeah, I'm not holding anybody back. The status
Leroy Jenkins
running in there.
Right, exactly. But like, it's a fun game though. It's a fun game though. It gets pretty intense.
Oh really
people are like really
I've played
good.
it a couple times, and it gets to the point where like I've got a buddy that plays, and he's one of the top ones, and I was like, I feel bad playing with you just because I feel like you're carrying me. And then after a little bit of time, you get a little bit more acclimated, know how the controls work.
Yeah.
Because it's really just physics, you know what I mean? Like if you hit the car in this part of the ball will go this way. Yeah. I'll hit it the exact same way, and the ball will go that way. I'm like, how the hell?
Hit it with your tires, it slows it down.
Yeah.
Like there's a way to like mute the ball and have it stop and then do your thing. Like, and you can flip your car real quick.
That's genius though, bro. Like if I was able to create a game like that, I would have everything, like emergency brake, the whole nine. Like it would do a little bit different. Like
there's like an e-brake, there's like boost. If it's very, for as simplistic as it is, it's very, very complex. If that makes any sense at the same time.
Even like you guys were talking like being that bad player, like your wife plays Valorant. Like my first, I think 8 or so matches, I was like, hey, just to let you guys know, I'm very new. And like,
right,
I'm very new.
I'm very new. And the dude like immediately got on, like, he was like, shut the fuck up, you little bitch. I was like, damn, bro.
They don't even care. They don't even care.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, I just need some help. Like, what do I do? And he was like, just pick a gun, have fun. I was like, thank you.
Have fun. That's really what it's about.
Immediately.
Right. Yeah. If you're not having a good time, bro, switch games.
Yeah.
if you're struggling, if you're struggle busting, man, if you're anyone that's listening, if you're struggle busting and it's not a good time, just switch a game, go do something else, come back to it, try again, practice mode. Tutorials exist. Take advantage.
At
YouTube.
the end of the day, like and I thought I didn't obviously think of this, but somebody had said something. I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like if you want to quit something because you're mad or something like that, like that's not good enough. You should want to quit something or no longer do it if you're bored or it doesn't entertain you.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you want to quit something because you're not good enough at it or whatever, like you got to stick it out. You got to push through. You got to get better. You got to persevere.
There are
but
so many games.
I'm also not going to go out there and try to play ping pong because I'm not good at ping pong. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. correlate to me.
I love me some ping pong.
I'm sure you might be able to teach me. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not good at it, man. Like pickleball was something I learned right when I moved here from Chicago, and I was like, what the it's pickleball, dude? And it's like, it's basically, imagine being a foot tall and standing on the ping pong table.
Oh.
That's pickleball right there.
Never even heard of it.
No,
so
I've heard of it, but like I don't.
It's crazy how popular.
Number 2.
It's getting crazy popular right now, man. Like in New York City, they're like it's taking on an entire league of its own. Where like people like Gary Vee just bought his own pickleball team.
Oh wow!
And like I just saw a video the other day where like mom and like your mom and dad, bro, like 50, 40, 45, 50 years old, like at home arguing over the pickleball tournament. And like dad's got a knee brace on and mom's over there sitting on the couch and they're just arguing over the pickleball moves they did that day. Bro, but it's like it's so crazy because like pickleball is like something that's not. It's just a life-size ping pong table, man. It's crazy to think that this has taken on a life of its own, and like Gary Vee bought into it, where he wants to buy his own team, and they're making, they've got like this like high rise where like one floor is like just an entire pickleball floor, bro. Like where it's like a tournament, man. It's crazy that like, but then again, like these are just a certain type of demographic. Like all they are just 40-year-olds that like that.
A long time. Talk about gaming. We never thought gaming would be as big as it is now.
Bro, it was so frowned upon, man, for so long.
Dayton's team or Dayton school has a esports team.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to get an esports team for Newport, and I was like looked at stupidly.
That's crazy, bro.
Like right at that time,
and
where
it's insane because like Dayton, Kentucky is such a small school. You know what I mean? And the fact that I mean maybe that's just. There's more people that want to play games than sports over there. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what that is, but there's something there that, that let Dayton, Kentucky say, hey, let's take this and see what happens,
man.
Take
a shot on it, yeah.
So how are you guys doing on time, man? I know you were supposed to be back there at 8, so we're 45 minutes past.
We are
it's
about
8:47 right now.
10 minutes away from closing, so I think we actually got to wrap
it up.
But I mean, I think at the end of the day, I was a little bit talking to Julius. I was like, man, what are we going to be able to talk about? Number one, you got to make sure you can mesh well and you get along with each other, which I think you guys are freaking great. You guys have
Thank you, bro.
Great. You guys have a great dynamic back and forth. Like, you get to the point where you're thinking of something, he not finishes your sentence, but he knows exactly what you're talking about.
He does, man.
So you guys do a really good job on, and also making people feel, at home, comfortable, bringing up subjects that they know that they like, So obviously we have homework to do, but if at any point in time, if you ever want to have us back on, we'd love to be back on and talk.
Dude,
there's so much we didn't talk about. And
I'd love to get you guys back on when we start these tournaments, because I'd love to host them, or I'd love to help be a part of it, because I think like our demographic is getting really young. So the kids that are coming in here are like 8 to 16 now, or that are really like gravitating towards the brand. So it's like one of those things where like that's the demographic that plays video games anyways, man.
Sure.
So if we can, and I've got a guy, Jesse Blaine, who wanted me to do a Fortnite tournament here 3 years ago. So if we can set something up and we can bounce the ball in the court, dude, like that's the thing that I'm good at, is putting, like, connecting the dots, right? Finding, okay, you guys are good at this, we're good at this, let's do this, and let's make this happen. And that was something a lot of like we were talking about it earlier, man. A lot of companies, like, they don't want to see other people thrive, and like especially in Cincinnati, it's really hard. Like if you got a clothing brand, most other clothing brands are like,
they want to keep it to themselves.
Yeah, no, man, like I'm not going to give you the recipe to Coca-Cola, but for us, like any kid that wants to come in and start a clothing line, like I will stop what I'm doing and I will talk to him and guide him and help him out whatever he needs to do, because if I can cut 10 years off of trial and error to get to a point where you're comfortable with what you're doing, so like for you guys being in the esports business, and that's new, right? Like it's
as far as the focus itself of like us calling it Velocity Esports, we have so much more than esports that we focus on. But that's one of the things that we kind of looked and saw the potential with revenue and with the amount of people to play it. You've got, boys, girls, adults, all different ages, all different races. There's so much potential that you could have so many boxes checked.
For sure.
Well, even like when I started, like I didn't tell any of them I streamed, but then like we were having conversations about some game, and I was like letting them know like, hey, I stream sometimes, and he's been one of the biggest supporters. Like he was my first sub. He's been teaching me,
dude.
He's been teaching me how to do Nightbot and
showed him how to stream,
stuff.
showed him how to do all this different stuff. Like it just brings, like, I know that we have a lot of common things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's how you can kind of find good friends and build a community and everything else. And at the end of the day, we've got so many different things that you can come in and do: esports, arcade games, food, drinks. Like you could have a community of people that love our cocktails or love drinking beer, or, you know, all those different things. So it's just definitely exciting to see that we don't just check one box. I think we check a variety.
You check it. It's an entertainment down there.
Absolutely.
It is, man. It's more than just one thing. If you want just food, you can get great food down there. If you want just games, you can get games down there. If you want like online games, you can do that. If you want to play pool, you can do that. Like you guys have so many. You guys are checking the box on so many different aspects that you're saying. So I got a question, man, because I know you guys had to get going. Obviously, like the Twitch dream isn't over, right? Like the online streamer isn't dead, because it's alive in all of us. And you're younger than I am. I'm still fighting for my meal, man. Like we haven't got to the major leagues yet. Like this may look like the major leagues, but for me, like this is still the minors. So like once we get picked up by Zoomies, or once we get picked up by a second place where we're opening up a second store, that's when I've got to finally punch in and start the major leagues, right? Mm-hmm. But and I'm in my 40s, bro. Now you guys are way younger than I am, like, and this the gaming community is getting bigger by the day, right? Mm-hmm. And especially with COVID, it boosted everything to another level because everybody was at home, and so now, you know, there was a moment, bro, where I wasn't even able to buy webcams 2 years ago.
Same.
Like that's crazy to think that
the
every
cam link,
like everybody was doing these home like meetings and shit, to the point where like I went to, you know, like Micro Center's my that's my Toys R Us, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, like when I go there, like that's my Toys R Us. So like when I went there and I couldn't find any of these Brio 4K cameras, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like what is? No, you can get the generic one here that's like the Japanese version, but it's like, bro, come on, man. Like, you know, it's crazy to think that within the past 2 years, even the adults and even the older people they've gotten to the point where they've had to learn how to use the computer and use Zoom and use the webcams and all this stuff, man. And that's doing is amplifying the esports and amplifying this online community that is only getting bigger, bro. Like,
oh, for sure.
I did everything backwards. We got a clothing store now. Like I should have been online 10 years ago, right? But like I was so focused on trying to make this interactive retail that I was like the Dr. Pepper walking against all the Coca-Colas, right? But like now I'm at the point going, God, I should have just been the Coca-Cola back then, like pressing the boundaries of all the internet stuff, right? But to get to the point, what I'm saying, man, like, you know, you guys are still young, and the esports is still young, right? So for you guys to be in this avenue where you've got an incredible storefront where you can actually like showcase your stuff, right? Like, you know, so you're like an online gamer on your off time. So like, how do we get you to the point where you're getting more views or more streamers by using Velocity, right? Like, you know, because there's ways that you two can become famous online gamers.
Sure.
And work at Velocity, bro. And
so the brand and everything.
So at what point, like, how does that puts Velocity at a point where the brand is up here because our staff is right here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a good question. It's also a very hindsight's 2020, and also a complicated question, to the point where, like, one thing that you definitely have to have for it to be a relationship that evens out is you've got to have a streamer or somebody that can bring attention to the brand, and then you've also got to be able to have a brand that's good enough that people will be watching and care about. But is it out of the realm of possibility? No, because that's basically what everybody's doing. If you like somebody, you're going to sponsor them. You're going to say, hey, wear my stuff, or hey, put my logo on your channel. I think right now it's going to come down to, we want to to know how to run, and we want to know how to run fast.
Yeah.
And we don't want to try to like skip in the middle of running, if that analogy makes any sense.
100%,
so, like,
bro.
Basically, we want to try to get this online tournaments, having tournaments in our store, getting all of our games updated, getting all of our, our state-of-the-art PC rigs. We want to upgrade all that stuff first, and then who knows, maybe over time we have a streamer that comes in that gets 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 viewers, and they say,
I think that's going to happen regardless. If
Sure.
if you guys just keep punching away at the clock and keep doing these Valorant tournaments and Fortnite tournaments, if we get kids in here all the time that like you don't know. Like the one kid will come in and he's like, "Oh, this is a nice podcast. How many viewers do you have?" I'm like, "Oh, well, bro, we go live on like 5 different social medias, then we upload it to 6 other platforms." And he's like, "I've got 80,000 followers on TikTok." And it's like
that's like a whole nother issue
see,
with the world.
It is, bro. It is.
I stream right now, and one of the things a lot of streamers are gonna say, like, go outsource to TikTok, go outsource to YouTube, like, because Twitch is whatever algorithm, it doesn't always put like newer people up there.
Twitch is not a very easily engageable, friendly, like it's not like YouTube.
It's saturated for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like even like I just made my first clip ever, like with the help of him, the help of Max, one of our coworkers. I made my first clip, and I'm very proud of my clip. But I uploaded it to TikTok, so like I haven't checked my TikTok since I uploaded it.
Right.
Who knows? That could have got me 10 more viewers. That could have got me 2 more viewers. Either way,
10,000 viewers. But the way TikTok's going, you never know.
Even still, I'm still gonna stream. I'm doing this for fun. It's not like I'm doing it for.
Right.
I'm doing it because I enjoy gaming, and if I have a tip for someone else with that, like who plays the same character I play, or if they don't play the same character, I'm just teaching people how to do something I love to do.
For sure, bro.
And at the end of the day, you have to do it because you have a passion, not because you want recognition.
Always.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
That's when you're gonna weed out somebody that's in it or they're not in it, and I think they're few and far between. Like there's more people that want the recognition than want the passion. So you'll find it real soon when you start to know somebody or talk to somebody and they're always talking about numbers and this and that. Like, yeah, sure, that's important. And we care about numbers just like you care about numbers of if you're up 10% this week in sales or if this month was a loss. But like
at the end of the month, it always levels out, bro.
It has to. Otherwise, it's gonna be a miserable business and a miserable time.
And that's the one thing, man. Like when I start like worrying about the day to day, it ends up messing up the week. And that was one of the things. It's like, and like I'm the worst at it because like every single day I'm like, this Tuesday was worse than last Tuesday, so we got to figure out why, and we got to make this Tuesday better. But like I said, at the end of the month, it all ends up leveling out, and it all ends up like the less I worry about it, the further it's gonna go because like the stress from the day to day doesn't make sense because it's only consuming my time.
Right.
And if I can sit here and if I can just entertain the people that come in and make sure that I'm shaking hands and saying, hey, welcome to Velocity. If you need anything. Good shot, whatever it is, man. Like those moments are going to end up taking the brand a lot further than you realize.
Yeah.
So like having a staff with you two involved is huge. Because the owner of Velocity, like he can only do so much. He can only put so much in.
Yeah.
And he can only sit here and say this is my baby. But then I've got all of my kids running it, right? So I've got these It doesn't matter how good Native is. If Tyrell and Andrew don't like where they're at, this thing's gonna sink.
Yeah.
Right. So like to have you guys as part of the team is huge, bro. Because you guys are the faces of it, and you guys also know like you guys are in the day to day. You're in the smoke because you guys do this the esports, and you guys been a part of it the whole time, man. Yeah. You guys need to keep plugging away at the clock and making sure that you guys are getting your due diligence of being an online gamer because like I said, man, just because you guys are running this store here doesn't mean that like the passion subside. Like as Velocity gets bigger, you guys should get bigger, and you guys should keep recording your content. And so if my wife comes down here, am I able to plug a webcam up so people can she can live, like, you know what I mean?
Live
like
stream. So as of right now, the way we've kind of got it set up is there's like a program that takes over the computer. That
right,
way,
because she would have to, like, she has OBS, she has the Stream Deck, she has all these things that like.
So that's something that we're working on right now. But like the system that kind of controls the PC basically locks the PC to where you can't like open OBS. You can't do any of that stuff. So
smart.
Again, one of those things.
Because you can't hack it. You can't put viruses on the whole nine.
Or basically, you can't just have a kid come over and open up the PC and start playing. Like you need to pay for the time.
Right.
But that's one of those things that like as time goes a little bit by, we've had different thoughts of having like 1 or 2 streaming PCs, and whenever you're streaming, you could be streaming to our Velocity Esports Twitch page, or if you want to log onto your own Twitch, that's definitely something that we've thought of.
I mean, that's awesome that they can do that to the Velocity Esports link too, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I think at the end of the day, there's so many things that we have thought about and we can improve on and we can do better. But like the things like starting these tournaments and kind of getting everybody aware that we're here and what we have and just spreading the word. You guys have a fantastic outreach in general and what you guys do, and we appreciate coming on here and we appreciate talking and having a genuine conversation. At the end of the day, it comes down to like, are you able to talk to somebody, and are you able to relate, and are you able to have the same type of passion? And you guys have made us feel really welcome in general.
I was, what was it, like 3 weeks into working there, and they're like, hey, you want to go on a podcast for us? And I was like, huh?
And that's, bro,
I literally asked, I was like, me? You guys want me to go on there? And I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Well, so that shows that you're a character, bro. Like, you might not realize that you shine yet, because you may be too, like, you're, again, like in the dust or in the middle of it, but he saw something, Tom saw something, the owner saw something, and you in particular to say, hey, like, because I mean, the owner of Velocity has no idea what's like what can happen right now, right? Like he could put 2 people on right now that could be a complete disaster, but he's got faith in the both of you, and you guys did due diligence to the brand, man. So like, kudos to you guys for being as young and as focused as you guys are, because the esports is the future of the shit, man.
For sure.
And you can't ignore things like that. Like, what's crazy, bro? The printing press. So my dad was a big printer. He's a world-renowned printer. Was a world-renowned printer. He passed away. But when the printing press first came around, they thought that was going to kill the written word. Right, so they thought the printer was a cheap version of the written word. Like, no, if you're gonna have a book, it's gotta be written by hand.
Yeah.
Right, and that's just whenever something comes along that presses the boundaries of the normality, like in esports, you've got to either take it and embrace it, or you got to figure out what it's doing. Because if you sit there and ignore it, it's just gonna keep walking up those stairs, bro. And before you know it, esports is gonna be up here, and then you're gonna be down here going, man, I should have did an esports team 10 years ago when they were talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the fact that you guys are they're hiring the right staff. They got you guys that already, like, you're already in the Twitch business. You guys are already in like you guys already have your own accounts. Like you guys like iBrink and. What was yours, bro?
Codename _Nugget.
Codename Nugget, bro. That's so fly.
Codename Nugget.
Yeah, codename _Nugget.
Where did that come from? Let's get the origin story.
His nickname's Nugget. They actually have to close the store at 9, so they have to get going.
But yeah, my origin, what was I? At first, my name was like Monkey Boy, and I was playing a game, and someone was like, that's like really racist.
Yeah, bro. That sounds like
you're right. And then one day I was like, what was I was eating dinosaur nuggets, and I was like, man, I really love these things. and then
them dinosaur nuggets are fire.
Right, they are.
PlayStation was like, hey, you can change your name, and I was like, typing in real
Codename
fast before anyone else could get it.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been like that. It's been like 2 years now since I've had Codename Nugget.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Mine was from mine's really easy. So my last name is Brinkman. So like growing up and all throughout high school and everything, everybody would call me Brink. And during the time, I think like the very original Brink gamer tag on Xbox was taken, so I just added like the I before it because it looks just like a bar. So it was just always iBrink. So
that's cool.
Nice and easily, really.
Yeah.
It's easy to remember too, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, if anybody wants to contact Velocity, so Velocity Next on Twitch or Velocity Esports Inc. on IG, right? So,
absolutely.
And IG is your main one that you guys focus on.
IG
right now?
is probably the easiest way to go and see the different apps and different outlets you can go to. So, for instance, we also have on Facebook, we've got the Velocity Esports Inc., and then we've also got Velocity Esports Newport, because we're we're going to be, before the end of the year, we're going to be opening up 2 different locations. So we're going to have a total of 3 stores.
But that's incredible. That's something I wanted to ask, bro, because like the fact that this is the first one is huge, right? It's like
we've got to set a standard and a precedent for sure.
I mean, it's incredible, bro. Like Newport really needs to understand the fact that you got the first one that you put is right here because, you know, you guys took over the old GameWorks, right? Like the whole, and so there could have been 7 or 8 different states that you guys could have chose, but you chose Newport, Kentucky to drop the first Velocity Esports at, and this is like, you know, this thing has to be the precedent, like you said, to knock the other 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the park.
Las Vegas is going to be the next one that open, or I'm sorry, Las Vegas. I thought I said Los Angeles. Las Vegas, and then there's going to be one in Chicago as well. So
and that just shows that Velocity Esports is really like already going to be at the top of the food chain. Because and we're lucky to have you guys in Newport, Kentucky, for real, bro. Because if you guys are going to Vegas and Chicago, like those are major markets. The Meccas, yeah.
For sure. So we're definitely excited on where things are going, and the crowd and the family and the group that we've built, and you know, we're always going to try to innovate. You know, obviously, if we don't, we're not doing our jobs. Like, same thing with you. Like, you getting a different T-shirt design. If you don't, you know, think of a better one, then you're not.
Shit, I'm in
creative.
Here painting every day, bro. I'm in throwing up new TVs once a week, trying to
literally. we are. This store is progressing at a very fast pace.
Yeah, bro.
We move quick. You know what I mean? Like it's important because we're trying to be forward thinkers, you know what I mean, on our own right. So with that being said, we have to throw some stuff at the wall and see if it sticks at the end of the day. And
not everything's gonna stick.
It's not everything's gonna stick, but when it does stick, man, you're here for the wins. The wins feel great, man. It's a good feeling. Yeah. To see it in real time too. It's not like we're just seeing it like over a course of months. We'll see it in a week.
Yeah.
We'll see a win right away, and you're like, man, that's awesome. Like, it motivates you for the next step. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Especially like, because with this, man, we're always trying to pivot. We're like, all right, so this week didn't do well. What can we do? What do we have to do to make it? You know, and like what we just did inside the lab last week.
We were part of the experiment.
Yeah. So we're turning the whole white room into like this experience, right? So it's like, you can walk through it on your Oculus and pay double.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So you can be at your house and you can walk through this entire store and you can buy stuff here. You can walk into the lab, but that hoodie's going to cost you $130 instead of $65.
Ooh, okay.
And
you're getting the convenience of it. Yeah.
Well, we're giving you an in-store experience because this is the very first interactive retail in the world. So we want everybody to come down to Newport on the Levee to experience it, and in doing that, we're going to give you half off what you guys were willing to pay $70 for a T-shirt online for.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that'll be groundbreaking for sure.
In-store experience.
We're finding it out, man. We're figuring out right now if it's groundbreaking or the worst idea in history.
I think it'll be good. You know, like you're always going to have, just like any new good idea, you're always going to have people that don't get it or don't see the trend or don't, you know, understand the same way that you do. And
what Tom does, man, you got to leave it there for 6 weeks, bro. You got to see if it works, and if it doesn't, you got to say, okay, that shit didn't stick. You know, and if it does, or if it did, you know, after 6 weeks, you're able to tweak it a little bit. Say, okay, this worked, this didn't. Trim that fat, and let's eat that steak, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, man. So anything else you guys want to get before we get out of here? I know.
No, I'm good. I want to thank you guys very much for having us on and giving us this genuine conversation to be able to talk about and share our passion.
Absolutely, bro.
Your socials.
So my Twitch is iBrink, and then also on Instagram at iBrink. I really don't use Instagram that much. I know I'm lacking, but that's basically where you can find me. And then as far as him,
you guys can find me at codename_nugget on Twitch, and then I also have a TikTok that's the same tag as well.
Codename_nugget. So
Nugget.
So is that your nickname's Nugget?
Yeah.
All right. So we're calling you Julius or Nugget from now?
Y'all can call me Nugget, really.
All right, bro.
Hey,
just know y'all will see me sometime in the near future.
Bro, we're gonna get you guys back on, man. Once because I really do want to set up an entire tournament with you guys somehow, so we can.
Native sponsor. We'll podcast that night. We'll do a whole thing. We'll be live. Gamers come on. They'll do 15-minute times.
A 7-day tournament, bro.
Yeah.
We can really do a 7-day tournament down here.
I'm down. Let's do it. You know, we'll definitely have to stop back.
All right, everybody. This is gonna round up another episode of the Powwow. Kurt, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for hanging out and entertaining all the people that were popping in
on the interwebs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
All right, everybody. This is gonna round up another episode.
Appreciate y'all.
I'm not gonna be in the doghouse tonight, bro. How awesome is that?
I know, it's crazy.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday. Another episode of Pow Wow. Love you guys. Later.
Bye.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, bro.